That's funny. All right, we're going to get started here, guys. I really appreciate everybody showing up. We really haven't had a social media event in Des Moines for just real estate. So I think, at least that I know of, I know we had a big event a few years ago at Wells Fargo. But I just thought, hey, I'm going to bring in some of the top people that I know to talk to you guys so that we can all learn from them. But first, I want to bring in James here. He's with Walk Your Plans. He was generous enough to offer up the space. I'm going to let him tell you just a brief little bit about his spot and what he's got going on. So let me take it.
Thank you. Tim, thank you. Appreciate that, having you and your team and Real out here. Just quick show of hands, because I've seen some familiar faces. Who's been in here before? Who's been here for a demo? Yeah, a number of people. So thank you very much. The rest of you who've not been in here or know what we do, I'm James Mockimer. I'm the owner of Walk Your Plans Des Moines. We're an architectural and building consulting firm. And as you can see by the floor, which I'll turn off here in just a few minutes, just so it's a little easier to see everything that's going on, what we do is we take blueprints for anything commercial, residential, anything in between, short of a napkin sketch, but we can probably make that work as well. And we expand it to a life size, and you can literally walk through your plan, whatever it is you're building, at life size before you ever move a speck of dirt. We've also got some other things that we're moving into with augmented reality and virtual reality that takes us to a whole nother level. So, just a quick introduction, couple housekeeping things. Restrooms are on the other side of that clock, on the other side of that wall. One men's and one women's restroom. Also, I do ask that if you have any liquids in anything you brought in or anything that remains at the end of the day, use our sink in the kitchenette. Just pour those out so they don't go into the garbage can, please. I got quite a surprise a couple weeks ago when I went to go empty a garbage bag after an event we had here. And my brand new shoes got all wet, and it was pretty nasty. So, and they didn't come clean, so into the garbage they went. So please empty those out. Trash is right over there. If we need another trash bin, I've got another one of those as well. But anyway, I'm going to get off the microphone. I'm going to go back to my usual spot over here when you're in here with clients, and turn it back over to Tim. Thank you all for being here, and let's give it up for Tim.
You don't have to clap for me. I sell in the same market as you. I get it. But I'm going to go through just a little bit about me and my journey in social media to start us off. The main people I want you guys to hear from are going to be up after me, obviously. But I just think it's important to tell you where I got my start in social media and how it came about. So we're going to jump into that right away. I can figure this thing out.
Did you shut it off?
Yeah, you bet, bud. Okay. So I started at Facebook back in 2012 when they had the Facebook pages. If you follow me, you might have heard this story, so sorry for the repeat myself. But in 2012, I found this Facebook page, and I was like, oh, whatever. I was bored. I just started it up, and I got going with it. And I posted a couple times, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, what's this boost button? And so I jumped into the boost, and I'm like, okay, boost, what does this mean? So I started playing with it, and I would boost a post, and for $20, you could get in front of 20,000 people. And I was like, holy smokes, that's like insane. That's way better than, one of those billboards on 2nd Avenue or on the interstate. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to keep doing that. I had very little money at the time, so I just decided I'm just going to spend every ounce of money that I can possibly spend on this. So I continued to pump $20, $30, $40 up to $50, and I'm like, okay, this is insane. All of a sudden, I'm seeing like 100, 200 likes. And I'm like, okay, there's a button here that says you can invite people to follow your page if they like your content. And I'm like, okay. So I kept doing that. Next thing I knew, I had 2,000 followers on my personal Facebook page, and other companies had like 1,000. And I'm like, well, geez. I got above Iowa Realty in 2012. Iowa Realty was the biggest one in the state. I'm like, holy cow, this is pretty cool. So I decided at that moment that in 2019, I want everybody in our market to know me, because that's when the market's going to crash. And I want to make sure they call me, because that's going to be important. But we all know the market didn't crash in 2019. But what I did realize is those efforts in social media in 2012 started paying off in 2015. In 2014, my wife, Rachel, standing over there, she joined the team, and she came on just to help me out, to get her touch in sales, see if she likes the business. And, it really worked out well. She came up with a great idea of doing this video right here, working with your spouse. And if you don't know her, she's got a sense of humor that it's really witty. And we came up with this idea. We did this video. And that was pretty much, to her credit, that was pretty much what started us on the video marketing big time. I had done videos where it's like slideshows, you put music with it, and they were terrible. If you go to my YouTube page at the very beginning and you watch it, you're like, what? Because it's grainy, and that's just what it was back in 2012. But this video got a lot of hype, and we used just a regular camera. We had no audio. I mean, it was like not a great video, but it wasn't about the quality. It was just about content. It got shared on the lighter side of real estate. You can see it's got 25,000 views on YouTube, which is a lot for a YouTube video. And we got other opportunities from that video. And that's when we were like, okay, we need to do more of this. So together we did quite a few videos, and our social media began to grow. But with social media, you got to stay out in front of things. And I watched my kids. They were on Snapchat. They were on Instagram. And I'm like, what's this Instagram thing? So we had to explore and continue to get out in front of the social media world. In 2019 is, I think, when I jumped into TikTok. And at the time, I thought it was just kids dancing until I got on it and I see a kid dance and swipe out 2 times, 3 times. And I never saw him dancing again. I started seeing stuff that I cared about. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I got looped into TikTok. Next thing you know, I went viral, and TikTok did really, really well for us. So now what's the next app? I'm not real sure, but we always are looking. That's why I got my guests on here. They're going to talk to you about, Todd will talk to you about the new things that are coming to TikTok and Instagram, and all the algorithms and all that crazy stuff. But my goal with social media, I wanted to do a video every day. Being consistent with that got me an opportunity to be on the Tom Ferry podcast, which I never thought that would happen, but that was actually a great time. I don't know if you know Tom Ferry, but he's an icon in the business, and he's a genuine guy. And going down there, it was really a good experience. And then I wanted to share the stage with the best. One of my passions, one of the things I want to do is talk on stage to people like I'm doing right here, which I created this myself. But having 2 of the best come here, I'm kind of fulfilling that dream. So social media is the only thing that has gotten me to that point. So first up, I'm going to introduce Bob Tompkins. So Bob is someone I started following a long time ago. And his TikToks, he would watch a video and then he would give his point of view, whether it was confrontive or whether combative or whether it was just like positive, this person's good. It didn't matter. But being controversial sometimes is what makes it happen in social media, because that's what gets people talking. Is this one of your first? I think this is one of his first big time video. Why don't we hit play here for just a little bit and let people see? He doesn't know I'm putting this up here until now. You might have seen this back in the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna show these houses on the Old Town Road. I'm gonna show them till they all
So
get
this right
sold.
here, pretty viral. Bob, why don't you come on up here? I'm going to give the mic to Bob.
Show them till they
And we can spare him the
I got some houses in the back, 2-car garages attached. Front door is
Bob Tompkins
got the
from
shutters
Greenville,
like
South
a
Carolina.
ledge. House
We're
on
gonna let
a
him
golf
take
course.
over from here.
Take to watch the Porsches. You can wave at Sally while you sit up on that porch now. Bet I'm gonna sell you something. I'm gonna sell you something. Bet I'm gonna sell you something. I'm gonna sell you something. Bathroom off the master, tile up in the shower. Bathroom for my baby, you can go and ask her. Need a fence for Scooby, pictures look like poopy.
All right, cool. That's what I wanted to show. All right, now we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had to see the
I'm
boom
gonna sell
lights.
you something. I'm gonna sell you
You
something.
can pause it. That's plenty. That's plenty of that. That is brutal. I had no idea that Tim was going to play that. Yeah, actually, I made that video 6.5 years ago. 6.5 years ago, I made that video, and it took me I think 4 years for people to stop calling me the Old Town Realtor. So thank you for that. Now, that's everybody's first impression of me. Great. Actually, one thing that is funny about that video, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'll go ahead. I'll start here. I started doing content at the beginning of 2019, like at a high level. Like I say high level, it was very low level. You'll see, I'll show you an example. But I started doing content in 2019 because Gary Vaynerchuk, which I think a lot of people in the room know, I'd been watching video after video of him just being like, hey, you got to do it. You got to create content. I was like, you know what? I'll do it. So I was very broke at the time. So I spent $1,200, which to me was like all the money in the world, on a camcorder, because I knew nothing about video equipment. I was like, I just need a camera. So I bought a Sony camcorder and a boom mic that went on top of it. It was the worst setup you could possibly have. And then I quickly realized the boom mic was not going to work in my office. So then I bought like a podcast mic and I recorded the audio separately. I had no idea what I was doing. But I was committed. I was like, I'm going to do video. I'm going to do video. I'm going to do video. And there was one day in like beginning of April of 2019, end of March, around that time, that I sent a Snapchat to like 6 of my friends. That song, Old Town Road, had just come out. And I like dubbed over with some parody lyrics. And one of my friends responded back and was like, you should just do the full song. So I contacted a buddy of mine that I knew did videos, he was a videographer, and I was like, hey man, like how much would you charge me to do this? And keep in mind, this is like beginning of April, middle of April. I just paid taxes. When I say I was broke, we just paid taxes. We had $2,000 left after paying taxes. And he was like, I don't know, man, it'd probably be like $2,000. So I go to my wife and I'm like, hey, he said it's gonna be $2,000. And she was like, whatever. Like, if you think it'll work. We filmed that video, put it out May 7th, or May 6th. It was on May 6th, because it was on my anniversary. My wife hated that. We posted it on May 6th, 2019, and it popped off for around 2 million views. And like the rest of my career is pretty much history because of that video. But I literally spent my last $2,000 to get that video made. So thank you for playing that, Tim. I appreciate it. So I'll start off by saying when I was a kid, I was probably 5, 6 years old. I remember on Sundays I would come down and my dad every Sunday would have the newspaper. And I'm 32, so when I was 6, that's like 1999, 2000. The news had really kind of taken over. Like that's where you got your news, was on TV, or you could even go online and find a little bit of stuff at that point in time. Very few people were reading the newspaper. And this was like, it was a big deal, like into the 90s, early 2000s, that like newspapers were going out of business or trying to figure out what they were going to do because people weren't reading the newspaper anymore. But every Sunday morning, my dad would have the newspaper, and he'd do the crossword puzzle. He would do the crossword puzzle. That's what he would do. He'd do the crossword puzzle. And he would hand me the comic section because I loved the occasional Calvin and Hobbes comic that would be in there. So I would go through, I'd read the comics. The thing is for the news, for newspapers, crossword puzzles, comics, that's not what the news exists for. However, it's the newspapers put those things in because they weren't thinking like a news conglomerate. They weren't thinking like a newspaper. They were like, we need to have something that people will go to religiously to have like their fix, whether it's comics or crossword. They were thinking like marketers. So my dad, because the newspaper company thought like a marketer, would consistently get the newspaper because he wanted to do the crossword puzzles on Sundays. And to me, it's a good parallel when I look at real estate. Too many of us in the room, we think like realtors, just like realtors. When the consumer doesn't really care too much about real estate. We think that they do, but they don't. And so what we're going to talk about today is how we think more like a marketer the same way that those newspapers would think like that when they did crossword puzzle. All right, and I want to establish a frame as we kind of get into this. So this is a rule. This is not my rule. This is like general rule within marketing, 10 to 15%. I say 14. 14% of your annual revenue should be allotted for marketing purposes. How many people in the room are spending 14% of your annual revenue on marketing? So like 2 to 3-ish ants. Okay, now for reference, consumer goods, those companies spend on average 18.1% of their revenue on marketing. That's per HubSpot. Salesforce in 2023 spent 43, it's a whopping number, 43% of their revenue on marketing. These are like, this is a baseline across every industry that if you want to be in growth mode, if you want to grow your business, 10 to 15%, 14%, is that kind of acceptable range for what you should be doing. In fact, most pundits say that if you want to just sustain your business, you should be spending $5,000 to $10,000 or 5 to 10% on marketing. So think about it like this, making $100,000 a year, gross, we're not talking net numbers. If you're making $100,000 gross, you should be spending $14,000 on marketing. Now, obviously, that number sounds very large, but you also have to make sure you're spending that money the right way. We'll get into that. But this is the frame that I want to put in front of you guys. If you are not spending 14%, you are not running a business that wants to grow. You are probably showing up to do a job. So a lot of people in the room, we're realtors, we want to call ourselves business owners. If we are not operating like a business, we are not business owners. One of the key points of a business is that they're going to spend around this number on marketing. This is how realtors market, because they don't want to spend 14%. So they spend, like $30 for a Canva membership, and they do this. How many people have seen a realtor market like this? You're lying if your hand's not in the air. How many of you have marketed like this? I still feel like you're lying if your hand's not in the air. This is what I mean, no offense to them, but this is what Coffee and Contracts does. They're like, hey, we have templates for you. If your local insurance agent posted this and said, just insured, how many of you are calling them for an insurance plan? No one is paying or is going to call their insurance provider because they're like, great, you did your job. Like, woohoo, that's so fun. This is how realtors market. This is not how realtors should be marketed. All right, the problem is realtors, and I am one of us, so I'm talking of all of us. I'm not talking about any specific person in the room, but realtors in general focus on checking the box of marketing. They don't actually focus on marketing. They want to be able to say, oh yeah, I did that. I made my post today. I sent my flyer today. I did this. They don't view marketing as a pillar of their business, as a driver of their business. Simply posting does not build an audience or brand. Okay? Just because you posted just sold does not tell me anything about you, does not connect me to you, does not make me necessarily want to do business with you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about who I am. I know I told you the whole story about Old Town Realtor, but these are some of the credentials. I am Bob Tompkins. I'm a second generation realtor. So both my parents are actually real estate agents. My mom got licensed when I was 8. I've been around this a long time. I say I wasn't in the business, but I feel like I know what a crash is like because we stopped going to Disney World in 2008 and 2009. So I know how to navigate that from an emotional sense. I'm a gym owner. I may not look like a gym owner. It really has no relevance to this, but I'm proud of it. So it's on there. We do market for the gym as well. I'm a content creator. We have a little over 40 million views that we've done. Me and my partner TJ, he's my videographer. We have a page called That's Real Estate, and we do pretty good. I'm in my 10th year of real estate, sold over 300 homes myself. I own Living in SC, a real estate team in South Carolina. We do about 40 million plus a year, and I have a 2,700 person network at Real. That really means nothing, except for the marketing has brought some realtors to want to work with me. So how did I get here? Number one, I was hyper focused on helping people. Okay. When I first got started, like I said, I'm in my 10th year of real estate. I've been doing video for 6 years. So I'm not, by any means, I'm not saying like you have to do video to be successful. I'm saying if you want to grow and scale, you need to be marketing. But in the early part of my career, I was just hyper focused on helping people. All right. So I contacted every human being that I knew. I only ever talked about real estate. I was obsessed. So this is another thing that I just want to kind of establish as a frame as we get into this today, is that a lot of us in the room, we say we got into real estate because we wanted flexibility with our time. Those of you that have been in the business a little while know that's a myth. It doesn't exist. But as long as you operate like you want flexibility in your time, you will hit a ceiling in real estate very quickly. Because you have to be willing to do this like all the time. You have to be willing to go to the Super Bowl party and just only want to talk about real estate. Like you want to talk to figure out what everybody's doing. You know, you go to the, I don't know, what's the big football game here? Iowa State? That has a name, doesn't it? Okay. The Cyhawk? Okay. I know one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time is from Iowa, or went to Iowa State, Brock Purdy. You can disagree with me later. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. But like, if you're not willing to step into those rooms, be around people, and just talk about real estate, then like you're not in a position to be a business owner. It's fine if you want to like just sell a few houses, have a job. But like, if you want to own a business, I do not know a single successful business owner that is not obsessed with the business that they do. So this is why when I'm talking about, hey, 14% of your revenue needs to go to marketing, it needs to be a pillar of your job. If you are obsessed with the job, spending 14% of your time or money on a pillar of your business is not nearly as difficult, not nearly as daunting either. All right, so I did all those things to build the business early, but I was doing it wrong. And this is why when I say back in 2019, when I made those videos, I was still broke. I was still broke because those first 3.5 to 4 years, I was just doing enough to like be a little successful. 2018, I made right at 6 figures. Or the reason I was broke, I did not properly anticipate a tax bill, which I'm sure people in here can relate to that. But when I was building the business, I was telling people what I wanted them to know. And probably everybody in the room here is guilty of this. This is when you go into a conversation and you're like, let me tell you why like right now is a good time to buy. Like right now is not there's no one that's going to believe you. If you're like, right now is a really good time to buy a house. Like no one's going to believe you. But that's because like when I would have those conversations, I was telling them what I wanted them to know. I was not answering the questions that they had. So here's an example.
What's up, guys? Bob Tompkins with Remax.
Let me back up, because I was talking when I did that. Here's an example of me doing a very bad video, and this was right when I got started doing videos, so I didn't know what I was doing.
What's up, guys? Bob Tompkins with Remax Moves here. Today, I've got a buyer tip for you guys. Those of you looking to potentially buy a home, or maybe you're already in the process. Something I want to talk to you guys about is expectations. With expectations, what I mean is when you're looking to buy a house, having realistic expectations on what you can afford in your budget. One thing we run into a lot as realtors is we deal with clients that have maybe Chip and Joanna Gaines expectations on the house that they're looking for, but maybe not the budget to go into the $300,000, $400,000 price range. So what we end up dealing with is trying to temper expectations with buyer clients. So one thing I want to advise you guys to do going into the process is if you're able to really sit down, put out a list of what's important to you in the home buying process, what you really want to get out of a home, and then a list of things that you're willing to kind of pass on. That way you're managing what is really important to you and what isn't. Because if you don't have those expectations going in, it's very easy to go into the home buying process expecting, oh, I'm going to get updated kitchen, updated bathrooms. I'm going to have hardwood floors, 2-story, master on main, all these sort of things that you think you're going to be able to get. 2-car garage, fenced-in backyard on half an acre. When you start thinking about all those things, you start pushing yourself up in price range. And let's just say your first-time home buyer approved up to like 175, then those things might push you into the next bracket, which is more of a second home, a starter family home, something that people are moving into when they're purchasing their second home, not something that's necessarily right for a first-time home buyer. So you really want to manage those expectations, and hiring the right real estate agent is very important to that. You want to make sure you're sitting down with an agent that is advising you, giving you the right ideas, the right expectations when you're going into the home buying process. That way you're not searching on Zillow, searching on Realtor, and getting constantly disappointed because you're not finding what you want at the price you can afford. So guys, that's my buyer advice for today. Manage those expectations. And as always, buy with Bob, sell with Bob.
Okay, so how many people within 20 seconds of that video playing were like, okay, he's going to turn it off now. He's got to turn it off now, right? No. I want you to suffer through that whole video. Because if you think, and this is me talking to myself 6 years ago, if I thought a client was going to watch that or a potential customer was going to watch that, I was an idiot. Nobody wants to watch that. Within 10 seconds, they're like, scroll. Probably not even 10 seconds, right, Todd? Probably 2 seconds, 3 seconds, scroll. Like, it's a bad video. The biggest reason I'm not saying talking heads are bad. The reason that's a bad video is because I had what I wanted to tell the consumer. I had what I wanted them to know. When I sat down to make that video, I was like, if there's one thing I could tell a buyer, what would I tell a buyer? And I was thinking about things backwards. It's what you want to say versus what they want to hear, okay? What realtors want to say. Here's why now is a good time to buy a house. Here's why now is a good time to sell a house. This is a historically low interest rate and you're fine. 6% is low over the 30-year average. Don't worry. You can just refinance later. Date the rate, they say. And the market is on fire. Yeah, if it was a house burning down. But this is what we want to say to clients, because we're like, this is what I want them to hear. Every single potential customer is going to hear this is a good time to buy a house. I'm like, no, it's not. Interest rates are 6+%. It's a good time to sell a house. Really? My buddy's house has been on the market 100 days. This is a historically low interest rate. I don't care what the interest rates were in the 80s. You can refinance later. I don't want to refinance later. The market's on fire. Well, we just know that's bullshit. So they don't like all of this stuff. They're not going to resonate with. This is what customers want to hear. They want to hear stuff that inspires them, stuff that entertains them, stuff that educates them. Okay? I think I have an example of what some companies do. Yes.
You'll always be that kid from Philly.
Tanti amici lo conoscevano, ci hanno giocato, poi lui si sentiva molto diretto. from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
But this kid right here, mark my words, it's going to be unbelievable.
4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, taking 500 shots.
Back-to-back titles for the Los Angeles Lakers on three-peat and sweep. NBA championship.
The LA Lakers, the 2010 NBA champions.
And that was the first time I knew of the greatness.
You would think about what should I do to motivate this guy, this guy, this guy.
81-point game. Olympic champion, the United States of America.
Falls down, and he is hurting. But the Lakers beat him at the free throw line. Got it.
A 60-point game. What an exit for number 24.
And the Oscar goes to Dear Basketball.
Tienes que trabajar cada día para ese sueño.
He didn't just show up at games. He was deeply involved in that.
Coaching young kids is the most important thing we can do.
You couldn't have written this.
In that ad, Nike released that ad shortly after Kobe Bryant passed away in a helicopter crash. Nike in that ad doesn't try to sell you a single shoe. Nike doesn't show you any athletic apparel. They don't show you a shoe. Because Nike, in that moment, is bigger than just athletic apparel. Nike is showing you something that makes you feel something. In all honesty, I can't watch that video without remembering I was a bartender at Chili's. We stayed open late because Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his final game. I remember sitting on the bar with like 7 people at the bar watching the end of this game and watching him score 60. And I get chills watching that video. But because Nike's attached to it, I have this feeling about Nike, which is the reason I have Jordans on my feet right now, is that I have this emotional attachment to that brand because they inspire me on a level that other athletic apparel brands don't inspire. All right? Nike doesn't market shoes. And you see this, it's like a common theme amongst a lot of their marketing. They market stories. Now, obviously, they're in the athletic space. So, like, they had sponsorships with Kobe. They have sponsorships with a lot of athletes. It gives them an opportunity to say, like, hey, we can tell these athletes stories. But they're not in the business of selling, of marketing shoes. They're in the business of selling shoes, but they don't market them. They market the stories that are tied to that apparel. They don't want you to consume. They want you to feel, because they know that if they can be tied to a feeling, that every time you feel that thing, you will think about Nike. It's bigger than just, hey, buy this shoe. Right? They want you to believe in something, and they want to be tied to that emotion. There's a handful of my friends, especially since I've been in the video space, that have done a good job of, like, when they list homes, they tell the story of the people that lived in that home. So then you're able to tie your brand, yourself, to the nostalgia of people's experience in their homes. When you can be tied to a feeling of nostalgia or tied to a feeling of ownership, you are far more likely to generate business there than if you just tell people, here's my new listing in Grimes, Iowa. Like, people don't care. Your new listing is about you. The feeling you get when you step into your home belongs to everybody. Share that feeling with them. There's Doritos.
Hey man, what's that?
It's my crystal ball.
It looks like a snow globe.
Nuh-uh, it's real. Here, watch. Free Doritos at the office today? I think that's a yes! Free Doritos!
Will I finally get that big promotion?
Promotion? Not in your future.
That deserves a bigger laugh. In 20, that was a Super Bowl commercial, either 2010 or 2011. And when I think of Doritos, I think of this commercial. And when I think of the Super Bowl, let's get bigger than that. When I think of the Super Bowl, the first brand I think about is Doritos. And it's because of this commercial, and then I think it was the following year, they had one where a guy goes over to take this girl on a date, and she's got her kid there. He sits down at the couch, picks up a Dorito. Kid smacks it out of his hand. He said, 2 rules. Keep your hands off my mama. Keep your hands off my Doritos. Those 2 commercials live rent-free in my head. And there's something to be said because if I around the Super Bowl, without fail, if my wife's like, hey, I'm gonna go get snacks for the Super Bowl, I'm like, oh, pick up a couple bags of Doritos. And I don't eat a lot of food like that. But for me, the Super Bowl is just synonymous to Doritos. So they're selling a couple of bags to my household in February every single year because of these commercials. They're not telling you, this is important, they're not telling you about their newest flavor. They aren't pitching you. They just want you to laugh. Now they put their product in the middle of that laugh, but that's what they want you to do because they want their brand to be associated with joy. Okay? This is where because some of you may watch that Nike video and be like, oh man, I'm not a storyteller like that. I can't tell a story like that. You don't have to. Doritos doesn't tell stories. Doritos makes jokes. And it works for Doritos because they're associating their brand with a different emotion. All right, realtors, this is my opinion, realtors have a gold mine on what they can create content around. We have a product that everyone needs. All right, does everyone need Nikes? I mean, I guess you could say everybody does need shoes. But nope, not everybody needs Doritos. Not everybody needs snack food or chips. We have a product that everyone needs. We have shelter. Our service is directly tied to their aspirations. Almost everybody you meet is going to have that American dream of a 2-story house, white picket fence. What's the number? 1.5 kids and a dog. It's not 2 kids. It's 1.5. So we're tied to the American dream. But for some reason, realtors like to market everything around a transaction. Just listed, just sold, under contract, closed. You have a necessity and an aspiration that people have. Why would you not talk about those 2 things? Here's an example of me marketing again, but this is better. And you'll see I kind of take a Doritos approach.
Dude, I think Sarah might be leading me.
What are you going to do with the house?
What?
I'm just wondering, are y'all going to sell the house? Because I'm a realtor.
Are you being serious right now? I'm trying to open up to you. I might be getting a divorce, and you're talking to me about selling my house? But can you just think about me for 1 second?
Think about you. Think about me. I have the goal of helping 20 families this year, and the way my pipeline currently looks, it's really dry. This could really jumpstart my year.
This is unbelievable.
I know. Divorces are like gold mines for realtors. Normally it's 1 transaction, but this could be 3 if both people want to buy a house. Speaking of, do you think you could pass me Sarah's number just in case she is wanting to buy a house?
I think I hate you.
Why? I'm not leaving you.
So, all right, why does a video like this work? Okay, so number 1, everybody knows a realtor like that. All right, everybody knows a realtor that is always trying to jump the gun on trying to get a transaction. All right, also, it works, this is not a great stat, but it also works because 42% of marriages end in divorce. So almost everyone has an experience with divorce and housing. Whether you got divorced, your parents got divorced, or your brother got divorced, almost everybody has some sort of connection here. And it allows people to laugh at something that they relate to, but is otherwise uncomfortable. Okay, so people will see a video like this and they're like, okay, like, I've been through that, I get that, this is somebody that gets that, I can work with that person. Now granted, there are, don't get me wrong, you do the type of marketing I do, there's somebody that's like, I got divorced last year, that's not funny, and they don't want to hire me. Fine, go hire somebody else. Like, I don't care, I don't want to work with that person anyways. Be stuffy about it. You know, with this, if somebody gets the joke, if somebody has a sense of humor, I'm going to connect well with that person anyways. It's somebody that I want to work with. Here's another example of a video that works.
What do you think about that neighborhood over on the west side?
Well, you know, I mean, they have houses there, and people live in them.
Oh, well, what about the schools? Are the schools?
Oh. Well, you know, they certainly have schools and teachers and books, and I think they have books, but kids go there and they get an education.
Can you at least tell me about the crime?
Oh, no. I can't say anything about the crime. Can't say anything about the crime.
Why not?
Listen, if you want to know about the crime, you're going to have to call law enforcement.
Oh. So you're saying that it's not a good place to live?
No. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No, I just said that if you want to know about the crime, you got to talk to the authorities. I didn't say it's a bad place to live. You rewind the tape. I didn't say it's a bad place to live. I'm not getting in trouble for this. I've gotten in trouble for it.
So this works because clients always ask these questions. Every one of us has had a client, has had that little bit of an awkward thing when they're like, how are the schools? And you're like, check out niche.com. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Now, some of you may just tell them anyways. It's fine. But people generally get very frustrated with realtors not answering these questions directly. Like, why can't you just tell me? It's like, it's because of steering. It helps show the consumer the behind the scenes of the job and what we can or can't say. So like, this is the sort of thing, if you get a client and they're asking these sort of questions and you're not answering directly, like they lose trust in you very quickly. Because they're like, you're not telling me what I want to know. This is your job, you're a realtor, you're supposed to tell me about whether I should live here or not. And then we're stuck in this place, we're like, oh no, that's not it. For me, like I can send them this video and I have trust immediately because they're like, oh, okay, like this is a part of the job. Like I've talked about this. This is something that they understand, especially if they followed me for some time, to where they're like, oh yeah, there are rules around fair housing and things that I can or cannot say as it pertains to a property. So like when you have this sort of content, it's framed as a joke, but people are like, okay, I get it. There's a part of this job that you maybe can't answer these things directly, and the trust remains because they've already seen me talk about these sort of things. All right, now I'm gonna kind of shift because I can show you videos, I can talk about how people want to hear about aspirations and how they want to dream and how they want to be educated and all that sort of stuff. But if we don't understand the way the consumer thinks, then we're still prone to make the wrong decision. So this part of the talk is called the main character. So who is the main character? All right, in life, we are all conditioned to believe we are the center of the story. If you don't believe that, I would like for you to hang out for one day with my 5-year-old daughter. And then you will believe that every 5-year-old thinks they're the center of everything. So anybody that has kids has probably experienced this. You hang out with a 5-year-old and they think everything revolves around them. The thing is, the truth is, none of us really grow out of that, okay? You have a conflict with somebody? Well, the problem is how that is impacting me. It's never like, well, maybe I'm the problem. I couldn't be the problem. It's never me, I'm not the problem. That's how we all think. I think this way, your mom thinks this way, your dad thinks this way. But most importantly, your client thinks this way. They don't know that they think this way, but they think this way. They are hyper-fixated on what serves them and nothing else. So when we're thinking about content, if we are creating content that serves us and does not serve them, they will scroll. Because they don't care about what serves you. You're not the center of the universe. They are the center of the universe. Right? Why would someone hire you? Okay? They know you, they like you, they trust you. These are the three things we've always heard. I add this fourth one. They believe you serve them. If they don't believe, they can know you, like you, trust you all day long. If they think you serve yourself, they will not hire you. Because really that then falls back into the trust, and they're like, at the end of the day, this person doesn't work for me. If all you ever talk about is yourself and your transactions and the things that you do, they will not believe that you serve them. They will believe that you serve yourself. None of that is possible if you don't fix the know you. So like, this is the marketing thing. They need to know you and you need to know them. All right, so who do you serve? So when we think about the main character, who's the main character that we want to serve in our business? I want you guys to get very specific. So if you're taking notes, this is where I want you to make some notes for yourself. I want you to answer these questions, okay? Who is your ideal client? In that question, how old are they? What is their name? I know this sounds funny, but like, trust the process. What is their name? Do they have kids? How old are their kids? How much money do they make? What is their annual income? Were they raised here? Are they moving here? Do they live in a specific neighborhood? What hobbies do they enjoy? What motivates them? All right, you can take a picture of this slide if you want to like write these questions down or write down the answers to this later. When we are figuring out who we want to serve, we want to be very, very, very specific on who that person is. Okay, there's the expression, if you make something for everyone, you make something for no one, or if it's for everyone, it's for no one. A lot of people, and it's funny, I gave this talk in South Carolina a few months ago. My mom was there. I asked my mom I asked the crowd. I was like, who makes content for everyone? And my mom was like, me. And I was like, please put your hand down. She's heard me talk enough that she shouldn't be throwing her hand up at that. But like, if you are making content, because my mom wants to work with everybody. And it's probably everybody in the room's like, oh, I don't want anybody to not want to work with me. I want to work with everybody. The problem with that is that if I speak a message that is for everyone, pretty much everybody in the room's like, oh, that's not for me. How many people here go to church on Sundays? You can raise your hand. Okay, it's like half. So I was raised in church, so it's an easy example for me. I remember growing up on Sundays, everybody that went to church on Sunday would hear the pastor speak, and then they would go to lunch and be like, that message would have been perfect for John. Message was never for them. Message was always for somebody else, is what they heard at church on Sundays. But it's because the pastor would put together a message and was like, oh, everybody's going to get something out of this. When the message becomes way more effective, if the pastor wrote it and said, Johnny's going to get something out of this, because then people can see overlap. So like, if you were to create marketing for Susan, who has 2 kids that are middle school aged, they make $100,000 a year, they were raised here, they live, I don't know any neighborhoods in Iowa, so they live in a neighborhood in Iowa, and they enjoy snow. But if I'm that specific, I have, like, my name is not Susan, my kids are not middle school aged, you know, but I have 2 kids, I'm a 6-figure earner, I was raised in the place that I'd be buying a house. So like I can see overlap between that person and me because half of the things that apply to them also apply to me. So if the message is specific to that person, there's going to be overlap, right? So this is an actual application of this because I don't want you guys, at the end of the day, I can put a bunch of philosophies and talk my head off up here. But if I don't give you an actual thing that you can do, you may not know what to do. So let's do that. All right, so like I said, I have kids. I have a 5-year-old daughter. If I say to my daughter, you have to eat. You can't eat sweets for dinner. You need a balanced diet. If you eat too much sugar, it will have negative health consequences. The eating habits you establish today will have a lasting impression on your relationship with food. I don't care. I know what's best for you. Just eat it. If I say all of those things to my daughter, is she going to eat the food? No. Because it's improper framing. All these statements are factual. All these statements are persuasive. None of these statements serve as the avatar of a 5-year-old who is refusing to eat a balanced diet. The strongest and fastest girls in the world eat eggs for breakfast. My daughter wants to be fast, she wants to be strong. Carrots give your eyes superpowers. Moana eats fish. You can eat the same food as her. Drinking lots of water helps your brain to be extra smart. These are proper framing. How many of those statements would get a 5-year-old girl to eat food? Pretty much all of them. All of these statements are layered and grounded in truth. There's nowhere in that I'm lying to my daughter. All these statements cast a vision and align with the goals of my 5-year-old daughter's avatar. These all help to convince my 5-year-old daughter to eat. The thing is, and this is when you think about those statements, this actually directly relates to what we're talking about in the real estate world and marketing. Those first statements are true. She doesn't care. It don't matter to her. There's a lot of things that we can say about purchasing a home, selling a home, doing the different things in real estate that are true that the consumer should hear, but it doesn't align with the goals of that person. It does not cast a vision for them. The back half of these statements, hear where my 5-year-old daughter is at, speak to where she is at and how she can accomplish the things that she wants to accomplish. You can speak the same way to your clients by saying, what are the things that you want to accomplish? Let me speak those things to you in our marketing. All right, an example of this. This is actually my ISA. So this is a very specific person. All right, Heath, 30 years old, father of 3. He actually had his 4th kid like 2 weeks ago, so I need to update this slide. He lives in Shackelburg Farms. It's a $300,000 to $400,000 suburban neighborhood in Anderson, South Carolina. He owns, he does not rent, and he oversees the family's finances. I can take this information and I can create a very specific marketing plan.
What's up, Shackelburg Farm?
The videos are auto-playing, it's messing me up. Here's an example of how I can market specifically to this person.
What's up, Shackelburg Farms? I'm Bob Tompkins with the Living in SC team at Real Broker. Thanks for scanning that QR code. We have got your quarterly market update ready for you guys. This is evaluating the 4th quarter of 2024. We're going to hop right into it because the subdivision had quite a bit of traffic that was going through it in Q4. We had 4 homes that closed in the subdivision in Q4. We had one that was listed in Q4, closed like the 1st or 2nd week of January. I've gone ahead and included that in this list because I feel like we'd be missing a piece of data if we didn't include it. So Q4, the market for Shackelburg Farms really did pick up, and we have a lot of demand for the neighborhood. So that is a very good thing for people that are living here. So we had some interesting takeaways. There were 4 houses, as I was saying, or 5 houses. There was 619 Fern Hollow Trail, 407 Willow Grove, 400 Willow Grove,
304 Maple Forge, which is the one that closed in January, and then 111 Cypress Hollow. The average price per square foot in the subdivision was $139.68 per foot, which is a very healthy number. Our average days on market was 26 and a half days on market for those listings. The average listing price was $372,779, and the average sold price was $368,600. So we had an average list to sold price ratio of 98.8% in the subdivision, which is very, very strong. Just so you guys know, in the general marketplace, we typically see about 96% of list price to sold price. So 98.8 is very good. That means that there's a high demand for homes in the subdivision. 26 days on market, which is relatively quick. Some people may know from the pandemic, homes didn't last a week. Now we're seeing on average in the marketplace anywhere from 30 to 45 days, kind of being the average days on market. So being at 26 in Q4 suggests that our neighborhood is incredibly healthy from a sales standpoint. Homes move pretty quick, which is really good. Pricing the house competitively is very important to getting these homes sold, though. We've seen some of these that have lasted a little bit longer on market have been because they were priced a little too high. So these are very good analytics for us. I know we also have a couple of homes that are up for sale in the neighborhood right now. And I think both of those are under contract. So we'll have those obviously when we review Q1 and any other houses that sell before then. But very good time to be thinking about selling your home if you're thinking about selling your home, even though the market in general has kind of turned to be a little bit more of a buyer's market. The data that we're looking at here for Shackelberg shows us that we are in a very good place. We should be very happy with this. If you would like a breakdown of your individual house, we would love to help you with that. You can shoot us an email at info@livinginsc.com or shoot us a text at the number that's listed here on the screen, or give us a call. We would love to have a conversation with you. We can schedule an appointment at your house and just run through the numbers and see how everything looks for you. But that is where we are as a subdivision. Very exciting statistical analysis here, and something that should be very uplifting for anybody in the neighborhood. So that's where we're at, and we'll see you on the next quarter. Okay, so the reason I made you watch that entire video is because, now for everybody in the room, this has no application. However, if you lived in Shackelberg Farms, would this video be useful to you? Some nods around the room, cool. So the thing is with this sort of video, this is highly specific. And so how many people in here do a market update? All right, a handful. All right. I don't know how y'all do market updates. The problem is if you do a market update that's like, here's your Des Moines market update. Everybody that sees that is going to be like, oh, well, I live in this specific area of Des Moines, so this doesn't apply to me. Like, this is just too broad. It's too general. Doesn't, like, it's the literal, if it's for everyone, it's for no one. Because everybody will see that and be like, well, they don't know about my house. My house is special. My house is worth more than your house. So like they will brush off that market report, or they'll be like, oh, that includes this side of town, and my house is nothing like that house on that side of town. For this, it overcomes all of that. The person lives in Shackelberg Farms. They own the house. Because I make this for Heath, the 30-year-old father of now 4, that lives in this type of home, owns and oversees the finances, the thing is that every home in that neighborhood has somebody that's like that oversees the finances, that is kind of leading the family on that front. So they're gonna look at this video and be like, okay, I want my update. To the extent that like we put these on door hangers, and here, you can actually scan this QR code. We have an entire SOP for this if you want that. About 30% of the people that live in the neighborhood scan that QR code when we put these up on the door hangers across the neighborhood. The neighborhood has just over 110 homes. We get about 30 to 35 people that scan it every quarter. We've captured right at 40% market share of that neighborhood. So, you know, 2 out of every 5 houses that go for sale in Shackelberg Farms, it's our sign that goes in front of that house. So this is something that you can do. It's very simple. You can even tell if you watch that video, I am reading the numbers off of the computer. I'm not talking like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't do a video. it's like, because you think you can't memorize a script. There's no script. I have a data sheet with all of that data laid out on my computer, which I think it's in the SOP. I use ChatGPT to put the table together. So I download the MLS sheets out of the MLS for the recently solds. I upload them into chat, and I'm like, hey, here's the 5 different pieces of criteria that I need to know. Can you analyze all of these documents and spit out these data sets? Chat will spit out those data sets, and then I can read it off the computer. Right? One of the big things, when we first started doing this in the first couple videos, we emphasized like, hey, look, the reason we do these is because Zillow is highly inaccurate. And if you want an accurate number on what your house is worth every quarter, you can continue to scan these QR codes. This is how you take something that you're very specific on that avatar. This is why I would say like map out exactly who you want to market to. This is an example of how you can market to that type of person, right? You want to reverse engineer your audience, right? So you want to think, you put together that avatar. You want to think of the things that that person wants to know, right? This is like stop living in your own shoes, put yourself in that person's shoes for a little bit of time. Think about the things that they want to know. Ask those questions and then answer those questions. It's not rocket science. Think about the best way to get that information in front of them. So like larger avatars, like the type of avatar that you're like, man, there's a lot of people that check this box. An example of this could be moms of elementary school aged kids in Des Moines. Okay, if you want to market to that type of person, it's a very large avatar. This is where putting together like a mom group on Facebook can be very helpful. You know, you could put together like, you know, you could do a TikTok series of the best parks to take your kids to in Des Moines, probably in different weather than this. But you could put that stuff together. You could create a series of that content. And then once a week, you could just take your kids to a different park and film it and talk about it while you're there. For very niche avatars, you want to do targeted marketing. So like if I'm trying to get people that live in Shackelberg Farms, that has to be a lot more targeted. So that's where we print out the QR codes on the door hangers and we knock that neighborhood once a quarter. Go through, knock the doors. If they answer, hey, we got your market update, here you go. Have a good day, move along. We don't have like a big sales script that goes with it, but we want to make sure we're putting that information in front of the person that needs to see it. All right, you want to develop a consistent cadence. So I'll pick on Tim a little bit. Tim has created a video every day for over 1,000 days. For the majority of people in the room, that is not a consistent cadence that you all can do. Like a video a day is crazy work. I don't do that. All right, that's way too much content for me. But there's a few questions that you want to ask about with the cadence of the content you're making. How often can you create the content that you're making? So like those joke videos that we do. Todd, who's going to speak after me, he knows TJ. Me and TJ have to sit down and write jokes. We do that on Monday nights. That's why I flew in this morning. Monday nights do not get messed with because me and TJ sit down and we write jokes for 3 hours every Monday. We normally come out with about 2 jokes. We will then film them later in the week. That is a week's worth of content. We can do that on a consistent cadence. We can do that every single week. Spend about 5 to 6 hours on it every week doing the jokes. How often does your audience want the content that you're making? For example, that Shackelberg Farms update, highly effective marketing. However, if I gave them a market update every week, they would get sick and tired of me. It's too often. So even though I could make one of those videos every single week, there's no reason to. The audience is only going to want that type of content once a quarter. Now, how are you going to hold yourself accountable to your cadence? You know, there's a variety of ways that you can do this. I know this is one of the biggest reasons that I have a coach. I pay for a coach. Is every week I have to report to him whether I'm doing the shit that I said I was going to do or not. And that I am a people pleaser and I am crippled by not pleasing people. So having a coach works really well for me. What is the consequence if you don't show up? There'll be a handful of things to decide for yourself what is a severe enough consequence to make sure you do the things you say you're going to do. For me, I pay TJ a salary, and if I don't show up and film that content, he gets a paycheck no matter what. I just lose money if I don't do it. So that's a pretty big consequence. All right, so the action plan. This is what if you're going to implement some sort of strategy, this is what I want you to kind of work on right here. I want you to define your avatar. Go back to all those questions, figure out exactly who that person is. I want you to choose how you're going to market to that avatar. So again, if it's a more wide-ranging, like moms of elementary school kids in Des Moines, Instagram, TikTok. If it's a more niche type of thing, YouTube, mailers, direct messaging. Like, here's the thing. I'm saying you need to spend money on marketing. I'm not saying it has to be video. Like, DMs work. I mean, that's not an investment necessarily of time, of money, but it is an investment of time. I want you to commit 1 day a week, or 2 half days, because 1 day can be exhausting, 2 half days to marketing creation. That can be writing, filming, editing ideas, putting together flyers, putting together emails, whatever it is, to where you're spending a total of about 8 hours. Because if we apply that 14% rule, 1 out of 7 days just conveniently happens to be 14% of the work week. I consider weekends to be a part of the work week because we work 24/7. And then you need to follow a posting schedule. So one of the big mistakes that people make is they're like, oh, this is who I'm going to market to. I'm going to do it on Instagram. I'm going to put stuff together. And then they have no idea when to post. Like, create a posting schedule. People are chronically online. If you're going to post online, who cares when you post? Just post. But make it consistent to where, Tuesday at 3 and Thursday at 4, I'm posting my content. Right? Who cares? The analytics may say it's better to post at 2. Who cares? It doesn't. I have not seen it make any sort of measurable difference to the content that I post. And thank you. That is an hour. Feel free, if you want to follow me, you can follow me. If you don't want to follow me, you don't have to follow me.
So back in 2021, I think it was 2021, I was on TikTok scrolling, and at night, right before I go to bed, I'd be on TikTok scrolling, and I saw this guy laying on his bed. I could just see his face, and I'm like, who is this guy? Night after night after night. He was always online. And I was like, man. Then I realized that he's doing a live every night for an entire year for an hour. And I'm like, what the? How do you possibly do that? First off, I'm ready for bed at that point. But going live, I don't know if you know how difficult going live is, but you're basically staring into the abyss for maybe one person that's on for 2 seconds and then 2 people that's on for 2 seconds. It is very difficult to be live, especially for an hour, especially every single time. But as I watched it, I started watching his numbers go up and up and up. And I'm like, dude's got a ton of followers. Maybe he's on to something. And he obviously had a lot of good info. Talks really fast, a lot of energy, really good info. So I DM'd him one night. Hey, Tom, would you be up for being on, I don't want to call it podcast, it's more of a blog. I did a blog, I do a YouTube series where I interview people across the country. Hell yeah, man, let's do it. I'm like, okay. Ever since then, we've been on masterminds every Thursday. There's a mastermind group of people. There's a couple of real estate agents, one lender. We got a Broadway person on there. We got a DJ on there. But I find masterminds very, very powerful because you can learn from all sorts of people. Especially, in our market, it's hard for me to sit down with 5 other agents in our market because it's like we're all competition. It gets kind of weird. But being able to reach out to people and talk to people across the country is a massive advantage. So if you have the opportunity to jump on masterminds, find one. I highly, highly recommend it. And then you meet people from all over the world, all over the country. So like Maryland, he's from just north of Baltimore. All of a sudden, since I became friends with him, now I got like 20 real estate agents in Maryland that I'm friends with. And that's actually how I ended up meeting Bob too. So knowing people across the country is a huge advantage. I love it. This is the first time I've met Todd. We've been friends. We talk on Zoom once a week, twice a week sometimes. Great guy. I want you to listen to what he says. Make sure you follow both these guys. Todd will give you constant updates on his social media. He owns a company called Beam Media. Available if anybody is interested in getting some marketing and advertising help. He's the man for that. But Todd, why don't you get up here and take over?
Thank you, Timmy. Appreciate it. Can you guys hear me like this without the mic? Cool. I'm gonna turn that off. I don't like walking around like this because it makes me feel like and I like walking in with you guys and like getting inside and talking to people and picking people out and finding people that sit in the back. Yeah, you sat in the back, didn't you? You thought you were safe? You're not safe. You're not safe. So Iowa, that's the only logo thing I could find. You guys have some sports teams here and stuff? Yeah. Who do you got? I saw a black and yellow hat. I saw that in the. So I'm gonna have. Yeah. No? No good? I'll tell you what. Why don't you two fight it out for the next 30 minutes? I'll come in towards the end.
I'm a Hawkeye fan.
What do they do?
Caitlin Clark. Heard of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. WNBA.
You know it.
Anywho, let's get. No, I'm joking. Now, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's first time to Iowa. Looks just like Maryland, honestly. Just minus an ocean that way and mountains that way. And thank you, by the way, for having a snow before I got here because it was like 2 days beforehand and we were planning the trip or whatever. And I hear they go, yeah, it's 16 degrees there and there's like 9 inches of snow. And I'm like, beautiful. This is going to be great. This is going to be great. I hope you guys enjoyed Bob's. I'm going to get a little bit more basic because some of that stuff can be a little bit more advanced. The other thing is you don't need to take your phones out and take pictures of the screen. I saw a lot of that. I'm going to make it a lot easier on you. So if you whip your phones out now, let's do that. If you like me and you have any interest in learning anything from me, do that. Go to Instagram, type in my name at the top. It's right there at the top of that thing right there. The service is not working? Oof. Let's go down to the search bar. Yeah, there you go.
Is everybody ready? This is really, really, really difficult. It's about 27 characters.
Oh, God.
All caps, WYP, DSM, exclamation point, and everybody.
You're like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing that. Wife's got it.
WYP, DSM, exclamation point.
I know. Yeah, I'm right there with you, brother.
Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, you got that right. It'll cost you. All right, so once you guys have that up, just follow me. I'll go back through it, and I'll send you the link to the deck. So everything in here, you guys will have, and you'll have it in perpetuity. And then it updates. My team updates it weekly, so you guys can go back into that link. So anything new that happens or anything new that comes up, that updates every single week. Pretty cool, okay? So you don't have to take those pictures out and have a goofy image of me up there. The reason I put that there is because I think when people get up and they talk in front of people, they think their shit doesn't stink and they're better than you, and I'm not. Okay, it's just not the case. All right, so let's get into this stuff. You thought we cared. Typical current event conversation that's broad is what matters, not the current home buying market. Controversy, engagement, and source. So these things are really, really important to me, especially the controversy side. Who in here, I know most of you guys have Instagram. Who in here is on TikTok? Raise your hand. Facebook, just leave your hand up if I use another one. There we go. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, Sora. Oh, keep that Sora up for a second. Oh, that makes me very happy. I like that. Okay, great. Let's talk about Sora real quick. I'm going to talk about that for a second. Why did you download Sora?
To make funny videos.
Okay. You couldn't make those on your own?
Well, I wanted the unrealistic race car, me driving a race car. Yes, I can do that on my own.
Did you post it?
No, because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay. Okay.
I'm very technically challenged.
Okay. All right. Anybody else with Sora, did they have those same issues? Same issues? All right, well, let's talk afterwards so I can show you guys how to use those things. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I want you to pay attention to Sora, imagine rewinding real quick to like 2000, it's like 2021. And I would be standing up here and I'm saying to you, how many people are on TikTok? And none of you raise your hands. And I go, download that app right now. Would you have downloaded that app? Honestly. Fuck no, you wouldn't have downloaded that app. And for the people here that went to church with Bob, I'm really sorry, but yes, there will be a little bit of cussing in here because I am from Baltimore and we do that a lot there. Unfortunately, it's because of our $1.4 million deficit that we have now. But Sora is going to be one of those apps that has a social implementation into it. And it's something I want you guys to be mindful of when you download that app. It's completely aligned with ChatGPT, but it has a social aspect to it. And there are a ton of people there that are starting to get a following. And the reason I say that is because the people that are taking some of these Sora videos, and we have a couple people in our mastermind group that are doing it now, and they're posting it out there. These Sora videos are overperforming their organic content that they're putting out on their own. So let me back up even further for a second and tell you this. You're in a situation right now where you've got about 4 or 5 years to get your act together on organic. You got about 4 or 5 years. And then past that 4 or 5 year point, it's done, okay? It's gonna be like pretty much, I would say 85% artificial intelligence is what you're gonna see in content. You can believe that or disbelieve that, but it's going to happen because you've seen the rapid rate of advancement with AI currently right now, right? Like let's think back 2 years ago. Like if you gave ChatGPT a prompt, you would just be like, man, this thing fucking sucks. It's horrible. Now you've got Sora and you've got Nana Banana and you've got all these different applications now that are moving towards it, and it's advancing at such a rapid rate with Sora specifically. Once you create that cameo and you can do those things, I mean, it is you. It is you doing these things. So that stuff is something that I highly recommend that you get into. Now, if you're gonna create organic content, when you look at Bob's content and you go, no, wait a minute here. He's making all these funny videos. He's spending all this money. I think Bob had said he pays TJ a salary. And if Bob doesn't show up, TJ still gets paid and whatever it is. Some of you might have been thinking in your brain, now wait a minute. He's spending this money on a videographer. He's spending this money on an editor. He's spending this money on all this stuff. Where's his ROI, right? Because I'm assuming some of you would say that. If I'm going to get a really good videographer, if I'm going to get a really good editor, where's the return on investment for me? Well, how would you gauge the organic content? How would you gauge that return on investment? And please, talk back to me. Clients? Okay. Or other agents maybe? Like if you were recruiting? So when we watch that and when people challenge me on that kind of stuff, I go, oh, well, and he skipped right over it, right? Like real easy. He goes, oh, the 2,700 other real estate agents that are under me. It's no big deal though. Eyeballs, okay? So when you pull up his Instagram profile right now, hey, how many views on profile did you have in the last 28 days on Instagram? 3.5 million eyeballs? Not bad, right? Right, so we can equate that to a return on investment, right? Now I want you to pull your home screens up on your Instagram real quick. Now in your big trouble. The Marshall team, everybody note that. They don't post on Instagram.
Minimal.
Those of you that are connected to the Wi-Fi, that is. Views on profile.
Oh, not many.
Let's go back. 185.
I'll get there. Hold on. I was just in here.
5,000.
You can make fun of
6,000. I'm not making fun of you for that. We've got somebody up there with 185.
I have less because I don't use it. Don't look. Oh, I'm not connected.
Hey, shit, man, 10.5. That's good. We got a 10,000 guy back here. Yeah, Instagram homepage. What you got, kiddo?
Oh, you don't want to see
1,000. Good. It's not bad.
What do you got?
Should be right there. When's the last time you updated this app?
Oh, I don't know.
4,000. Yeah, it is good. But update your app because it should show there at all times. Yeah, yeah. Those of you that are not seeing it, I highly recommend going into your app store or your Droid store, whatever you people use on Droids. I don't know what that's called. Update your application. I know that you might think you have it on auto update. You don't. Even though you set auto update, it still didn't update. So go in 2 sides, update it, okay? Because we're going to talk about some new things that Instagram's going to be launching that you guys need to be aware of, okay? The controversy side, I'm gonna flip back and forth between this deck, just FYI, because I have an immense amount of ADHD in my brain. The controversy side of what we were talking about with Bob, the funny content that he's making is always going to overpower whatever any of you put out, regardless of what type of real estate content you're gonna put out. If you're just gonna shoot these videos where it's walk around videos and it's gonna be drone shots and stuff like that, I get it. You got to do it for your clients and your customers, but it's still the eyeball situation. That's what it comes down to. And the reason being is this. Has anybody noticed the difference in their feed on Instagram or TikTok or anywhere else in the way that content's delivered to them? Anybody notice the difference? Okay. Go deeper for the commercialized. What do you mean commercialized? Do you like that stuff? Are you into gambling? Okay. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Yes, that is a real thing. They are listening. Those are actual ads that people are paying for that. They're very expensive. They're actually the most expensive ads you can buy. Okay, they're called DSC ads. And what those are is the speakers in your phone when you're out and you're saying certain things, and then those things show up on your phone later. Those are companies that are paying for those types of advertisements. But they're the most expensive ads you can ever pay for. They're right under the Super Bowl ad in cost. They're very, very expensive, but they work really, really well, and they have a great conversion rate. Not that any of you are going to pay for those in here, but just so you know, the behavior of these applications is changing to interest-based content. So remember that, interest-based content. When you go to make content right now, it better be interest-based. So what that means is this. Who in here can play guitar? Nice. Like how well? Not well. Okay. I'm going to use you as an example and pretend that you're fucking unbelievable at the guitar. You resembled Slash. When I first walked in, I was like, you know what? Black hair, a little longer. I can see him on stage. You got to become the guitar realtor, or you got to become this plus realtor. Does that make sense? Because it's interest-based driven now. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're into cheetahs and you type in cheetahs into your search bar, you're going to get fed. This is TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, it doesn't matter. You are going to get fed endless amounts of cheetah content. And that is all you will see until you reset it again. Now, I want you to remember something. This is what you asked for. That's what you asked for. Because when you were scrolling Instagram in the early days and you were scrolling TikTok in the early days, like, fuck this shit, I hate this. So stupid, I hate that video. Oh, okay, cool, something, Thundercats from 1984. Love it, tap, tap. Like, now you're gonna get hit with all of that nostalgia on and on and on and on. So that's how it's based. So you have to think about that when you guys are creating content, especially when it's real estate content. Understand the people that see that content are people that are what? Interested in what? Right. Do you think me, a consumer who's not a real estate agent, is going to Instagram and TikTok, if I'm not buying a house or selling my house, I'm inadvertently looking for real estate content? No. But if I'm a regular person and I play guitar and he pops up and he goes, welcome to the new update for Ankeny, Iowa, like whatever it is. That's going to catch my attention for that first 3 to 5 seconds like we were talking about, instead of, here's the Ankeny update for the properties now in Ankeny, $300,000. What'd you just say?
You're saying it correctly.
I know. Thank you. Ankeny? It's because it's been said to me over and over again because that's where I'm staying. Yeah. Yeah. That is going to get more attention and eyeballs than everything else. Now, here's the thing. If I play guitar and I live in Iowa and I see you and you play guitar and live in Iowa, now we have something in common, which means that relatability is there, which means I might follow you, which means if I follow you and when I'm ready to purchase a home or I'm ready to sell my house, you might be that person. We have to play that numbers game. So I want you guys to think about this when you leave this room today. I'm a real estate agent and that. So if you're a real estate agent and you're a mom who's overwhelmed, be the mom who's overwhelmed and talk about those things because why? It's extremely relatable, okay? So I have a real estate agent that I work with. Her name's Jess Welder. And she makes, immense amount of content. Posts every single day. We shoot, 120 videos a month, like just endless amounts of content. So one day she was having a really bad day. She was wearing a red dress, she had red heels on, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna go to my girlfriend's house. We were texting, she's like, I'm going to my girlfriend's house and I'm gonna take them all Sundays from McDonald's. And she walks in the door and her friend has the camera on her and she goes, I had a shit day, fucking real estate market's up the fucking shitter, blah, blah. I bought myself Sundays and I'm buying you guys Sundays too. She posts that video. How many views do you think that video got? How much? 5.8 million views. 7,000 new followers out of it, sold 3 houses. Okay? Had nothing to do with real estate other than the words that were coming out of her mouth and the emotion that she was feeling. In the comment section, what were those people saying? Same. I feel that. Yup. Got it, right? And then somebody else was in there like, next time bring wine. Like all of this stuff, right? My point is that we overthink the complexity of this content when in the reality is that if you would just put out the stuff that just you find funny yourself or amusing yourself and can some way wire real estate back into it, you're gonna get a lot better result out of it, okay? The sitting and talking about the market, I like it, but if I'm not ready to buy a house and I'm not selling my house, you gotta go further with me. You have to keep me in that web, and the only way you're gonna keep me in that web is be able to keep me with relatability and with what interest you have that I'm also interested in. Does that make sense? Okay. Controversy. Why do I like controversy? I like when people go head to head with each other. So you might have seen some videos that Bob put out previously in his early days. Tim's actually done them. I've actually done them. Bob actually did one on me. But basically what he would do is this, and you got to get people to slow down in your content. So have you ever watched a realtor make a video and you've disagreed with what they've said? Yeah. What did you do after you watched that video?
I scrolled because I'm not mean.
It's not about being mean. If somebody puts out content or information that you deem or believe or know is incorrect, not right, a bad opinion, don't you feel that you should probably retort and give the right information? What's holding you back from that? That would be the question. What stops you from going head to head with that person? Is it your lack of knowledge? Is it your own insecurities? Are you afraid that somebody in the comment section is going to disagree with you? Are you afraid the person that you're making that video with is going to disagree with you? It's all going to come back to those things. Anxiety, fear, all of those things. No one cares. Okay? Nobody cares about it. All they care about is the information within the content and the context within it. So if a real estate agent sits there and goes, to Bob's point, now's the time to buy. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now interest rates are better than ever and the pricing of these homes right now is absolutely perfect. You should make the purchase of this particular home right now. If you disagree with that, you should retort to that person. So there's a couple different things that you can do there. I'm going to give you these. I 100% think you should write these down. Sequence on sequence on Instagram and a stitch on TikTok. So what that does is this, especially if you can find people that are in in the industry that you do that have more followers than you, more engagement than you. So what a stitch will do on TikTok is give you the first 12 seconds of what they're saying. So what are they doing in the very beginning of that video for you?
Are you able to edit that?
Yep.
So you can pull the 12 seconds?
You got it. 100%. You can do it within app or we can do it outside of the app. But that first 12 seconds, you're letting them do all the heavy lifting. Because most of you start your videos like this. Hey guys, it's gone. First of all, I already follow you, so I'm probably seeing your content, so I already know your name is. There you go. But I was pointing at this person. Deb. I already know that's Deb. So I don't need the 3-second introduction, right? Hey, my name's Deb. I'm a realtor in Swipe. See you later, right? Let somebody else's face carry the heavy lifting. Somebody that sometimes is even more recognizable. So maybe, let's say Mel Robbins says something. She's a recognizable person. Maybe she says something for 12 seconds that you disagree with, and then you come in the end towards after that 12 seconds. She's handled the watch time for you. You're able to then carry the rest of the video. Does that make sense? So those are things that you guys can do, like literally walking out of here today. Go find some content that you disagree with, or it could be content that you agree with. It could still be controversial that way. But let somebody else do the heavy lifting in the very beginning. Because it sounds to me like a majority of you that are creating content, it's probably the beginning of the hook. It's probably where you're having most of your issues. The reason that the content isn't performing is you're just not holding people's attention long enough. And a lot of that can be visual, some of it can be audible, but a lot of it can be personality. And I've said this to my clients before. I've literally said to them, maybe you just suck at making content. Maybe that's the problem. And so maybe you need somebody else to do the heavy lifting in the front of the video, and then it makes a little bit more sense. If you watch Bob when he was up here speaking, it's been a while since he had to get up here and speak. You saw in the very beginning, it's kind of tough, it's a little, and then all of a sudden you hit a groove. You hit a groove and you're able to cruise. It's the same way with social media. Do I believe that you shouldn't post every single day? No, I think you should post every single day. If that's your goal. If your goal is growth, you should post every day. Unless you can give me an excuse of why you shouldn't. Anybody got an excuse of why they shouldn't post every day? Don't tell me it's because you think it's too much and people are going to see you too much. Because I just looked at your views on profile. That ain't a fucking problem. Okay? I'm sorry. Except for the dude back here with the black shirt on, he had 10,000 views this month. Give that man a round of applause. He's grinding, okay? What's a good views on profile? I think if you can get into that 5-digit range, I think you're doing something right. I think if you're in that 4-digit range, I think you're doing something right, but there's still gaps that are missing. I think if you're in the 3-digit range, you're fucked. Now, that's true, but here's the thing I will always say to you. You can't ever blame the platform for anything because the platform's free. Okay? It doesn't hate you. It doesn't not like you. Yes, you probably did something at one point that got you into a bit of a pickle. Okay? You're not shadow banned. It's not like somebody picked Deb out at TikTok. Trust me, I've been to the headquarters. They were paying me to host a show in LA. Tim remembers this. They were flying me to LA back and forth 3 months, going back and forth to LA. And I remember walking up to my friend Joey and I said, Joey, I got a couple clients that think that you're shadow banning them. Can you give them some insight? And he goes, a what? And I go, shadow banning. He goes, dude, shadow banning? No, we don't do that. And I said, yeah, it was like this one person from blank or whatever it was. And he was like, nobody even knows who the fuck these people are. Like, we don't know these people. So like, you have to understand, if you've got 1,000 followers or 1,500 followers or 2,000 followers, dude, nobody knows who you are. You're not shadow banned, okay? You're just not posting enough and you're not putting out any content that's making you laugh. When is the last time your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend sent you a real estate video and go, oh my God, you gotta watch this? I mean, tell me. Or was it like no, it wasn't. Don't tell me that. Your daughter sends them to you? I was talking about more like girlfriends, husbands, wives kind of thing. Like you're like, it's more like digital flirtatiousness. Yeah. Like it's like, you know, you're sending like goofy, funny stuff about like taking the trash out or like just some really effed up like sexual stuff, like whatever it is. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what you guys got to remember. We're always sending each other funny stuff. We're not sending each other professional business stuff. Like, oh my God, man, I cannot believe this guy was able to get in and out on this stock so quickly. Can you believe that? Like, that's not happening, right? It's just not happening. So we're only sharing content that is a transfer of emotion, okay? So you guys need to think about that. No one knows what they're talking about, which is absolutely true. The world spins faster than a squirrel in a merry-go-round. So what I spill in this seminar might be old news quicker than a microwave burrito. That's why we're rewinding to the basics that many of you skip in your grand plans. Remember, there's no magic potion, strategy, funnel, or platform that's been forever hit. Consistency, patience, risk, community engagement. The reason I say this, the consistency side of it, I put this at the top because everybody always talks about that, but in the reality of things, anything that you do in life has to do with this right here at the end of the day, right? If you go into the gym and you go, yeah, I'm gonna lift weights, but I'm not gonna lift weights till and it took me a really long time to figure this out. I'm gonna lift weights, but I'm not gonna lift weights till failure. I'm just gonna do 8 to 12 reps of this same weight over and over again. And then I'm gonna look in the mirror and go, why am I not growing? Why am I not growing? It's because I'm not pushing myself to failure. So those of you that are in the gym, you know that. You know you've gotta go to failure to grow. What else do you need to do? You have to eat. So what I thought for a really long time was, don't eat. I want to lose weight, build muscle. What an idiot. Because then when I got with a dietitian, they were going, how many meals do you eat a day? And I go, I intermittent fast. And they're like, okay, so how many meals do you eat a day? And I'm like, dinner. And they were like, how do you have any energy to do anything? And I'm like, I don't know. And then what do you eat for dinner? And I would tell them whatever it was. Now I'm eating 6 meals a day. Now I have to be honest with you. I've only had 2 meals since I've been here in Iowa. Thanks, Tim. But the market is tough. So tough. No. In fact, I took the check from him yesterday because I knew the market's so tough in Iowa right now that I paid the bill. So consistency is always going to be there. We know that. You're going to have to get the results. But with the consistency comes the right tools in place, the right people to tell you what to do. Okay? Because that's what happens. You go into the gym, it's your first week there, you didn't hire a trainer, and you think at 40 years old you know what the fuck you're doing. Okay? So you start doing a tricep pull down and you're like, right? You're doing it like this. And you're like, God, my triceps don't feel anything. Geez, I wonder why. It's because no one shows you how to properly do it. It's the same with everything else. It's the same with everything else. Just like being a real estate agent, you guys have picked up little things along the way. Somebody saw something and they said to you, try this instead. And you did that instead and something happened. You got a result. And when you got the result, you stay consistent with the result. That's what you need to do. With the patient side of it, it's this. You're gonna leave here and you're gonna forget everything I fucking told you today. Most of you, 99.9% of you won't execute on any of it. Most of you are gonna tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. But as I'm flying to LA to go meet up with Jose Canseco or Captain Lee from Below Deck to help them with their social media, you're gonna be back here in Iowa trying to figure out your real estate content. Or you're gonna execute and you're gonna be patient and you're gonna do it the right way. And what I mean by doing it the right way and being patient is this. When I went live and Tim saw me on that live video, I said to myself, I'm gonna go live every single night for an entire year, come hell or high water. Sick, puking, on vacation, whatever it was, I did it. Now, it was very difficult, not gonna lie. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., an hour a night, for me, that made the most sense. Kids were down. Nicole doesn't want to fucking talk to me between 9 and 10 p.m. She's got no interest in me at that point. Or any other time. She's watching right now, so be careful. Then at 9 p.m. between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night, I started to grow. Now, listen, for the first 3 months, Tim's not lying, man. It was like 6 or 7 people in there. And I'm just like, holy shit. For the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it was 0 people in there. But I stuck in the hour. And then I would engage and I would change a couple things. I started playing some music. And then I had some visuals in there. And as we started to grow that, clients started coming out of the woodwork. And other opportunities started coming from there. So one day, somebody from TikTok's in my live. They reach out to me and they go, hey, we love your personality. We want you to host a show for us. We're going to fly you to LA. We're going to pay you a salary. We're going to send you, we're going to send you a check every month. We're going to put you up in hotels in LA, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's crazy. It was nuts. That same year, by doing that, we put $1.3 million in revenue on the books. Just for the marketing company. Just in clients, not in Baltimore. These are people that I've never met before. Then we had to create a mastermind group from it because there were so many people in the live and they wanted to go deeper. Then we had to create one-on-one consulting for it. So my point is this. How many people in here that are real estate agents go live every single night and give information every single night to their clients? Okay. You do it once a week?
I do it live once a week, and I do at least one
And
video.
where do you do that live?
I'm in the old platform.
Sure.
It's called Facebook.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, I'm up to 50,000 people.
I love it. I love it. The thing is, cast a wider net. So if you're going to go live on Facebook, go live on Facebook, go live on TikTok, go live on Instagram, go live on all those places. Not just one. And I'll tell you why. Because if you do that, you've got what's called a key man risk issue. A key man risk issue, does anybody know what that is? Nobody? It means the person at the top of the funnel, if that person goes out and gets hit by a fucking bus, the whole goddamn thing falls apart. So if Facebook goes down that one day of the week, now what? We need to cast a wider net. That's why when I was saying to you, who's on Facebook here, and you guys raised your hands, and some of you were on Instagram, and some of you you guys are all over the place. You guys have got to be everywhere. And the reason you have to be everywhere is because every other person is not. They might just be on one or two platforms. Like some people hate social media, but they're on LinkedIn. Some people hate Instagram, but love TikTok, and vice versa. Some people, yes, came up through Facebook, but they spend no time there consuming content. They spend all their time consuming content on YouTube Shorts. Anybody in here with kids? Do they watch a lot of TV nowadays? Nope. What do they watch? YouTube. YouTube Shorts even more so, correct? Because their attention spans are like this. Which, I get it, but it is what it is. Now, Tim showed me this yesterday. His son is literally making like DJ beats on YouTube, and he's putting out YouTube Shorts, and he's got views that are higher some than Tim's. So trust me when I say this. We are talking about your age demographic. What's the average age of the person who's buying homes right now? I know you know this number. 40? You think there's a lot of 40-year-olds on Facebook? I want you to rethink that for a second. I want you to rethink that. No. 40-year-olds are on Facebook, but so are their parents. Okay. My dad put a Facebook story up today. He's 83 or 84. Aww. I'm in the sandwich situation right now. You know what I'm talking about? Mom gets a knee replacement. Dad gets a heart situation. Driving them back and forth to the hospital. Can't drive at night. All that crap. It's ridiculous. Anywho, the Facebook story pops up with my dad, and I'm not joking. It's a close-up picture of his hand to his cheek like this and his eyes like this. Now he's got a habit of posting photos from his camera roll just inadvertently into his Facebook stories. And it happens all the time. Yeah, it's crazy. It happens all the time. So I have to text him and like, Dad, pull the story down. I don't know what you're doing. Like people are asking me questions. Are you okay? So yes, 40-somethings are on Facebook, but they're only there for their parents. Because my mom will call me and she'll go, how come you didn't like my Facebook post? And I said, because I'm not really on Facebook a lot. You need to be over on like Instagram or TikTok. And she goes, I thought I had Instagram. Isn't it inside Facebook? And I said, yeah, sort of, but not really. So where do 40-year-olds spend a majority of their time? Well, I'm 47. Yes, but where, in the mornings at least, but where do you spend most of your time? TikTok and Instagram. I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, that's where you're seeing the content. Okay, so from like 40 and up, like Instagram and TikTok need to be your places to live. They have to be. And I mean, you've got to go as hard as you possibly can. That's the only way you're going to break through. And you also have to find some sort of interest that you can connect and relate back to real estate. You have to, or you're just not going to get up to those numbers. I would love to look at your profile and those 10,000 views and break down the per piece of content and figure out which ones did the best to get you to that number. And my gut is going to tell me a lot of it wasn't real estate. And that's really what you have to think about. So what you have to really look at now is Instagram has really kind of become Facebook. Facebook has really delved away from any type of business stuff. Like if you've got a business page on Facebook right now, I have to question like why you're even in this room. Like unless you're running ads. Because I want you to think about this. When is the last time you saw a social media organic business post on Facebook and Instagram that wasn't an ad? Just think about the last time you scrolled. Did you get hit with a company piece of content that wasn't an ad? They're just not working, guys. So if you're a business profile in here, you need to switch that immediately. Make it a person. You can't even get access to good music or good sounds for your content. Just switch it. Go right to professional dashboard, which you have on your thing. Just switch from business to professional. Simple as that. You're a digital creator. That's who you are. You're a real estate agent / digital creator. Unless you're running ads, then use your business account for that. But I would not fall down the trap of you got to be. This is all personal branding now. Personal branding and psychology. This is what I was talking about. Hooks. When you guys are making content, you guys should remember. You don't have to pull your phones out and take pictures of this. When you guys are making content, this is the type of stuff and the phrases that are going to get people's attention and slow people down. Okay, this mistake could cost you. Here's how to avoid it. That needs to be the first thing out of your mouth, replacing it with, hey, it's Deb again. With your Ankeny market update. Hey, you live in Ankeny? This is a mistake that could cost you. Here's how to avoid it. The truth about blank might be a shock to you. The ultimate showdown between blank and blank. The biggest myth about blank busted wide open. Think blank is out of reach, better think again. Before you give up on blank, you need to hear this. It slows the brain down because its assumption is what you're about to say next is going to change this person's viewpoint or life. Unless you can hammer them within that first 3 to 5 seconds, you're toast. So it doesn't matter what you say towards the end of the video, no one's making it there. And if you think I'm wrong, go look in your settings on your Instagram account or on your TikTok account and tell me what your watch times are. Tell me what your average watch times are. Some of you might be putting out 3-minute videos on Instagram. And my question to you would be why?
45 or less.
Well, dependent upon what you're talking about. Now, if I was going to go on a 3-minute tirade about how great, let me use a political analogy. That was awesome. I said, let me use a political. He goes, I might be from Baltimore, buddy. But trust me, I'm on your side. All right. If it was a political analogy and I was like, hey, I'm going to rant here 3 minutes about why Barack Obama is better than Donald Trump. Whether you like Barack Obama or don't like Barack Obama, you're going to stick around for that 3 minutes and be like, I either love this guy or I fucking cannot stand this motherfucker. One or the other. It doesn't matter. It's controversial. Okay? So I made a post years ago to prove this to real estate agents. I was at a seminar teaching real estate agents and I told them this. I said, I'm going to make this post about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, his first wife who passed away, he buried her on the first hole of his New Jersey golf course. Now, in the state of New Jersey, because he buried her on the first hole of his New Jersey golf course, he could then deem the golf course what? A cemetery. And in New Jersey, if it's a cemetery, does he have to pay taxes? Never, ever, ever. Now, that was a very, very good business move. Whether you like Donald Trump, love Donald Trump, and also don't know the backstory about that situation, knowing the fact that she wanted to be buried on the first hole of that golf course, that doesn't matter either. Why? because people are quick to their opinion. And when I made that video, I knew goddamn well what was going to happen. And I did exactly this, guys. Share. And just watch the comments section. Just watched it. And it was like, pew, 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 pew. People going at each other. They're going nuts. They're going crazy. Why? What did I do? Did I say that I agreed with what he did? Did I give my opinion? No. What was I? I was simply a local journalist. You guys have a local TV station here, a news station here? Yeah. What's the big one? What's the main one? KCCI. What is it called? KCCI. How long have the newscasters been on there?
30 years.
30 years.
They're all retired.
Yeah, they're getting close though, right?
They literally announced it not that long.
But those people, you loved them. You loved them because you grew up with them. You watched them on the snow days when school was closing, right? I can name you these newscasters in our local networks. I can name you these people. We love those people. Why do we love those people? Because they never gave their goddamn opinion. Not once. Not once. Go back and watch. Never once did they do that. They just reported to you information. They left the opinionation stuff up to you. Now, let's switch that real quick. Now I'm Tucker Carlson. You either love me or you hate me. Now I'm, who's the girl on MSNBC? Rachel Maddow. Now I'm Rachel Maddow. You love me or you hate me. Why? Why do you love or hate those people? Because they give opinions. So, going back to the controversial side of things and the hooks, leave the opinions up to the consumers of the content. Let them do it. You want more engagement on your posts? Make posts like a local news reporter or make posts like an opinion reporter. It's completely up to you. For the safe zone, be the local news reporter. Did you hear about what is happening in Iowa? Blank. What are your, like, we have something happening in Maryland right now where they're putting up all these wires through all this farmland. And the state government is coming in and they're saying, it doesn't matter what you guys do, we're taking your land and we're building these, we're putting these cables on it. Whether you like it or not, eminent domain still exists in Maryland. It's happening. Fuck off. That's it. Now, how do you think that those Marylanders feel about that? I mean, a lot of the farmers are up in arms, and as they should be, right? If I wanted to make a post about that, would I give my opinion about it, or would I simply just report on it? Simply just report on it. That's all I have to do. Okay? We got a couple other guys at home that do this. And again, this is just visually setting things up. He sits at his desk, the computer is right here, and what he does is he hits play on the computer, he looks back at you, because you're watching him, he looks back at you, points to the computer like this, and lets the video on the computer play. So now he's got you hooked in, because he's not saying anything. He's looking at you like this and he goes, and it slows you down. 3, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Now it's 30 seconds into the video, you're still watching that video, and then he hits pause. Okay, and now he goes into his opinion piece. So now he's reset you, okay? It's slowed both sides of your brain down. And this is where I talk about the psychology of stuff. Again, it's all about psychology. How do I get this person to slow down the scroll? I've got to make them see something or hear something that they've never seen or heard before. That's why carousel posts tend to overperform on Instagram specifically, because you're pattern disrupting. You're telling somebody that's going like this, now you're giving them the ability to go, oh, wait a minute, I can go sideways on Instagram? Cool. Even if you're not into it, you're still going to kind of slide towards the end. And you can put images and video in there. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it, but the hooks are the best place to start. So when you're making videos right now, you guys need to be thinking about a couple different things. You need to be thinking those first 3 to 5 seconds, what can I do in the first 3 to 5 seconds to start slowing people down? And again, it can be visual. It could be the phone up there and you running towards the phone. Oh my God, I have to tell you something that's really important here. Follow me. Right? I have one real estate agent. Actually, you might have seen that one with Tim, but he's an Asian guy. His name's Dave Wan. I hope he's watching right now because I love this kid. Young kid, couldn't find his voice as a real estate agent. And I said to him, I was like, you know what would be really funny, man? And he's like, what? because he always talks real soft. And I go, I think you should just whisper in your videos. And he was like, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, what? And he was like, what do you mean? I go, Dave, I can't hear you. What? And he's like, what do you mean? And I go, Dave, I can barely hear what you're saying. I want you to take a really nice mic and I want you just to whisper walking through the house and showing the house. So he starts doing that. 10,000 views, 20,000 views, 30,000 views, 50,000 views, 100,000 views. Now this kid is skyrocketing through his team. Just because what I did is I found something in him that was completely different than everybody else and had him do it this way. And he was consistent with it, he was patient with it, but he stuck with it. And when you execute on those types of things, it works. And we also did, of course, the Asian of the Month, which was his idea. It was his idea, okay? And he was tired of not winning Asian of the Month, so he goes, well, I'm going to be Asian of the Month. That's what I'm going to do. Yes, exactly. And it did really well. And he put it out, and it did, I think it was like 1.6 million views or something like that. And it was just like a little sitcom kind of thing that we did. But what I was trying to explain and show to these people was that you can have fun making this content, get the eyeballs in there, and then you can move into the education, yes, that you're still professional. Nobody is going to make the mistake to not think any of you are professional. We've all seen your photo shoots. We know you guys can be professional. We know when times get tough in those situations in the room, you're going to work for your client. We all know that as consumers. But as far as content goes, we need to know the other side. Like, there has to be another side to you. So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. This is something that we do. We make sure that all of our clients have something to do every single week. So this is for people that can't come up with their own ideas. So what we do is we take our clients, we send them customized breakdowns of videos that we want them to shoot. We show them the inspiration of where the video is coming from. All they've got to do is shoot it. They send it to us. We edit it. We distribute it, we make sure it's SEO sensitive, and it goes out to every single piece or every single platform that we want them on. This is what I mean by a strategy, okay? And a strategy is not a marketing plan because marketing plans change, okay? They always do. So when somebody comes to you and they go, hey, I've got this marketing plan for you, this is what we're gonna do, the platforms change way too fast. So you can't plan like that, okay? I mean, quickly, like as quick as it happened, you know, you went from TikToks being 3 minutes long to 10 minutes long. You went from Instagram Reels being 3 minutes long to probably, it could be infinite at this point now. Like, it's just gonna happen that way. So you guys have to be prepared to be able to strategize with what's working and what's not working in the moment. Another client we had, and this is something really important that I want you to know. Yes, your TikToks do get indexed in Google. Do your Instagram Reels get indexed in Google though? Anybody? Is anybody in here paying for SEO? Any SEO services? Yeah? Very good. Now. But for years it didn't, did it? So that's why we were forcing so many people to go to TikTok, because Google was indexing TikToks just like they index YouTube Shorts, just like they now index Instagram Reels. Now, I want to put you in the position of a consumer. If I Google something and I want to get information about it and learn about it quickly, am I going to read it or watch it? I'm gonna watch it. And those of you that go, nope, I'm going to read it, like, you're a fucking nerd, because nobody does that. Like, let's be honest. It's the truth. This is why I say we're gonna get lazier and lazier and lazier as the years go on, okay? If I can watch a video that tells me how to do something and it's only 2 minutes long, I'm good with that. I'm not gonna read 7 paragraphs. It's just not gonna happen. I got forced to do that for 12 years when I was in school. Don't wanna read anymore, okay? It's not gonna happen. So when you get lucky, you can make pieces of content that will then get indexed on Google, which then helps you trounce out your competition. Yes, your links will show on Google and then they will show within the platform, which is only going to strengthen the numbers and of the views that you're going to get on these types of posts. Yeah, so you guys know, obviously, Maryland, we're famous for crabs, okay? With crabs, we have to go really entertaining. Like, we have to go, like, over entertaining, to the point where this girl had to literally take Old Bay and, like, shove it all over her face. But with the numbers, as you can see, it did well. That arrow at the very bottom is the most important one, though, okay? The only way you get to 512 likes is with those 51 shares. The only way you get to 169,000 likes, almost 1,800 comments, almost 12,000 shares is with, or saves, is with those 12,000 shares. So that's what you need to be thinking about in the back of your head. Is this piece of content that I'm about to put out, is this a piece of content that someone is going to take and send to blank? Okay? That's why those memes and those funny things that you get from your wife, your friends, or whatever it is, the reason those perform so well, yes, they're relatable, but the reason they perform so well is because they're getting shared. Their send rate is so high that the platform can't hold it back. It's being seen by too many people. That's why Barstool, like a media company like that, does so well. Do they come up with their own content? Yes, sort of. They create it. But in the reality of things, all they do is hump the back of people that have no fucking clue what they're doing on social media. They document it, they put it out there, and then Dave's got 70 or 80 people combing the internet looking for those videos. They get the views. They get the money. They get the monetization from the platform. Got it? Just like the one that's pinned at the top of Tim's profile. That was a meme that we came up with in the mastermind of that girl roller skating and falling down and the light comes down and knocks her in the fucking head. How many views did that get? Over 100 million. My assumption is that was a nice meme about real estate. It probably got him some deals. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I can't tell you that. But at the end of the day, the eyeballs aren't going to lie. So, simple, relatable, transferring emotion. Remember those things before you hit share, okay? Viral content's easy if you understand human behavior. We've been discussing this human behavior situation. How many of you have CapCut? Great. Yeah?
What did you say?
CapCut?
No. I know what it is.
Okay. Yeah? Got it? Everybody in here that doesn't have it, highly recommend downloading it. It's free, costs you no money. I do recommend the paid version. I think it's like $8 or $9 a month. But you want to talk about making it a hell of a lot easier for yourself to make content? That's a great place to be. So number one, it's going to have templates there. Number two, it's going to have audio files there that you're going to be able to use. It's watermark free, so you're not going to get trampled on the platforms, because if you guys are leaving watermarks on any of your content, you're going to get throttled back. I'm just telling you that. So if you're taking it out of TikTok and you're putting it on Instagram and it's got a TikTok watermark on it, you might as well delete it. It's going to get throttled back, and vice versa. Those of you that are putting Sora videos out, better get the watermark removed on it, because you're only hurting yourself. So CapCut is an absolutely great place to be able to find any type of situation to become more relatable, so that you're sure about that meme. I didn't fucking do this meme or whatever it was, like the guy saying this. I mean, you guys remember this stuff, but that type of content's always going to work well. Go ahead.
So I was told that if you use CapCut, that those don't do well because of the CapCut.
Who told you that?
One of my previous.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
Because of the watermark you're saying?
No.
Yeah.
No, it was just, they're like, everybody uses the CapCut template.
Yeah, those are the same people that are going to tell you that you need to post 3 times a day, and that you need to use 30 hashtags, and you need to do that. Dude, let me explain something to you. I know people that work in Instagram. I've been to their headquarters. I've filmed an ad for myself inside their headquarters. I've been to TikTok. I have friends that work there. I have friends that work at Facebook. I'm telling you this for a fact. All that bullshit that you hear is not true, okay? How many hashtags do you need to have in your Instagram posts? Nah, they don't give a fuck. And nobody believed me for years about that, until the CEO came out and said, oh, by the way, you don't even have to put hashtags on your content. It doesn't matter. That's not how we index content. But for years you heard what? 15 hashtags, 30 hashtags, 5 hashtags, 3 hashtags, 2, 1, I don't know. So now Instagram's come out and go, hey, we're just gonna limit it to 3 hashtags. That's what we're gonna do moving forward. So now you can use 3 hashtags if you want, if you feel good about it. And by the way, yeah, most of you do the hashtag improperly because you put hashtag your name. And your name's John Smith. It's like not even a name, it's not even like a one person name in the country. It's like it's just ridiculous. Like if Bob, hashtag Bob Tompkins, how many other Bob Tompkins do you think are out there? He's like, wait, I mean, real estate kind of sucks right now, but I'm fucking indexing like a motherfucker on Instagram, dude. I'm the top Bob Tompkins out there. Like, it doesn't matter, guys. Hashtags don't matter. The length of the video doesn't matter. How many times a day you post doesn't matter. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is this, because it goes back to what I told you the very beginning of this. The content is one piece of content at a time. It is judged, your profile, one piece of content at a time. Very rarely do you come across one piece of content and then go visit the person's profile. I mean, seriously. There's no way that's happening. Tell me the last person you followed. Do you even remember? Well, it was me, probably, if you could access Instagram, right? But if I were to really ask you that, you wouldn't be able to tell me. See, that's how unconnected you are. You can't even tell me who you just followed last. So there's no way you're doing it right if you can't even tell me something as simple as that. You got it? Use CapCut. Make your life easier. And stop worrying about all this bullshit that these people are feeding you. This is not true. Remix, stitch hack, like I was talking about before. This right here, if you struggle with making content, this is the way in. This is the way in. And no one did it better than Bob Tompkins about 3 or 4 years ago. I will tell you that straight up. He held your attention for a large portion of the video, letting somebody else talk, letting somebody else say something, and then he would come in and just knock them. And the thing is, you didn't know if he was going to agree or if he was going to disagree, and you were waiting for that. Now, when I saw my face pop up there on the corner, the lower right-hand corner, I was like, oh, fuck. Is he going to agree or disagree? Thank God he agreed. But you never know. These are super, super easy things to do, guys. And if none of you know how to do this, grab me afterwards, and I'll just show you. It takes 2 seconds, and you absolutely need to do it. Grit pays, yes, 100%. How many of you have gone out and commented on other people's posts today? Love that. Good. How many did you do? Yeah, oh, absolutely. Actually, you should be doing more than that. Yeah, you?
I try to hit 100 a day.
100 a day. Who are those people that you're commenting on? Are just random people or?
Yeah, so it's people who might be, I'm sorry, I'm a Facebook person.
No, you're fine. Don't apologize.
No.
She apologized for being a Facebook person.
It's you know, sphere
No.
of influence, it's
Yeah.
other agents
Yeah.
that I follow, vendors, business people.
Okay. What I want you to do is try to commit to 30. If you can't commit to 30, commit to 10. It's really not that hard. But what I want you to do is I want you to focus on people that you want to connect with. That's what I want you to do. And I want you, those people, when I say the people that you connect with, I'm talking about people that might be doing this a little bit better than you. Just a little bit better, but become their fan. Because here's what happens when you do that. When you give and you give and you give to that person, when that person sees something that you put out, they're going to give it back to you. So make that a focus for you. Because here's the thing, when you guys put out posts and then you go, nobody commented, not that many people liked it, or it's the same people commenting, the same people liked it, I always turn it right back around real quick. Well, how many did you comment on today? And when I hear 2, I go, see what I'm saying? This is the habit that you're in right now. That's your habit. That's your give right now. That is not enough. Equate it to a relationship. You're trying to build a brand. You're trying to build a relationship. Okay? If I just walked in every evening and said, "Hey, Nicole, nice to see you." That's not going to cut it, dude. Okay? That marriage is doomed. It's doomed. Right? Exactly. So it's the same with social media. Unless you're giving that attention, unless you're putting in that time, Unless you're giving back to these other people, do not, under any circumstances, expect the same thing in return. It's not going to happen. That's why you're not getting comments on your posts, because you're not doing it for other people. Period. End of report. The second you start engaging with other people's content, you'll start to see it go up. I promise. I guarantee that. 100%. I keep taking my clicker. Incentivize. Set up a contest inside your business. Reward your employees monetarily for their input. And that's the next thing I would tell you. How many people in here have multiple agents? I think I did that thing that you told me not to do. I definitely did. Somebody can get there. How many people have multiple agents on a team? Okay. How many agents do you have on your team?
5.
You have 5 agents. You have a page for just the agency?
I have a business page.
Yeah, and you have 5 agents under you. Mm-hmm. Okay. And those 5 agents have, and you have the agency page.
So I have a website.
Yes.
That they each have their own page.
You mean the agents have their own page? Yes. And then do you have like the team page? You have the team page? Okay. What I would like to see and anybody in here that's on a team, you have a team page, what you should do is you should put an internal team together of content creators inside that team. And they're responsible for putting out content daily. And then what happens is this. The most successful piece of content that goes out from the team that day is the one that gets repurposed on the team page. Got it? So I took a mortgage company that we worked with, it was about a year. I took about 15 of those loan officers, trained them weekly, had them make content. We would take the content, they would distribute the content, we'd put it out, we'd see which ones performed the best, we would take that content, we would repurpose it on the team pages. The team page started to blow the fuck up. Numbers through the roof. Why? Because we had so much content we didn't know what to do with. Because I had 15 loan officers making content every day, I had backup after backup after backup of pieces of content, and they were all creating different pieces of content because some of them were better at certain things than the other ones. So I had some that I would send out on the street. And I'm like, I just want you to go out and I just want you to ask these people 3 questions. Why did they get a mortgage? What's the rate that they're paying now? And do they, it was whatever it was, just these 3 random questions. And people like that. Why? Because when I would walk up and put that mic in your face and ask you a question, I'm, again, slowing the consumer down to the content, and they're waiting a little bit longer to see what you're gonna say, right? Or maybe they picked out like a wild dude, because we got some wild looking people in Baltimore. And it was just weird people, man. And they were just walking through this shopping center just asking people questions, and it was some of the best content they ever put out. They got major views, and people were hearing it from other consumers. Because you as a loan officer, you as a real estate agent can say all day long what's right, just like I can sit up here and tell you exactly what to do to be successful in your digital marketing, but you may or may not do it, just like your clients are gonna do with you. But if another consumer says, Todd told me to do this and it worked, my credibility just went up, correct? So it's the same situation. Like if that person says something and then me as a loan officer go, yeah, but have you ever thought about a HELOC? And why? You just told me you were thinking about starting a business. Have you ever thought about a HELOC? You're sitting on about $500,000 of equity like you said. Maybe we could do something like that and you could go out and maybe purchase some more investment properties. How about that would be a good idea, right? Now I got this guy thinking. Now I'm having conversations with human beings that maybe they didn't know they could do that. You feel me? Or maybe somebody's watching that video and is thinking that same thing and goes, oh, I didn't know I could do that. You got it? So we have to get out into the world a little bit and we have to have real conversations with people, just like testimonials. Do you guys get testimonials from people after they purchase a home from you? And I'm not talking about this one where like Billy comes with the key and holds the key, like Bob was saying, and the sold thing across. I mean, the chest beating is, oh my God. It's so ridiculous, dude. I don't know any other industry that does it. Does anybody know any other industry?
Cars.
Do they do that? I bought a $125,000 car from BMW, and they certainly didn't take a fucking picture of me.
Bad lighting.
I don't know what it was, but I mean, maybe they were like, oh, we shouldn't show somebody like this buying a BMW. Like, he's not wearing a suit. I don't know. But I just think it's kind of funny. Like, that's not enough. I want to know about those people. So I want to know why they chose you. I want to know what the experience was like. And I want to know if they would recommend you to somebody else. Now you're putting them on the spot. So now you got a video testimonial out there. So now we can go back to Elizabeth 6 months from there and be like, hey, Elizabeth, remember that testimony you left me? You told me you would refer me to other people? Well, it's been fucking 6 months. What the fuck? Right. Where are those people that you said you were going to refer to me? Hold her hand to the fire a little bit. I'm just joking. I would not do that. But, yeah. What I would say is, dude, testimonial videos, they're unbelievable, okay? They're way better than the screenshot Zillow review. They're way better than the Google review. And look, I get it. I understand. Those Google reviews are extremely important, okay? The Zillow reviews, yes, they're important. We're going to look at those. But my assumption is Zillow is just like DealerRater. Everybody's a 5-star dealership. Everybody, as long as you're paying them. And the second you stop paying them, it's just like your Yelp. Second you stop paying Yelp, what happens? Olivia hated your pizza, and apparently you're also sexist. It is what it is. Might want to pay Yelp again. And by the way, all these things that I'm telling you, these are things that really happen to clients of mine. Behind the scenes, anything that occurs in your business behind the scenes that is often not seen is most likely the most wanted content by the user. Agree or disagree? You guys, your offices are probably fucking hilarious. Probably minus, how many people have an HR team in here? That's what I figured. They are probably great. These are great offices. My recommendation, have some fun with it. Show that your team can be loosey-goosey and have some fun. Like, actually get out there and do that stuff. Like, have a little bit of humor. Like, my God, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Live video, as uncomfortable as it is, maybe the live video feature is the easiest way to grow your account. And the reason I would tell you live video is the best for you guys to grow your account is this, especially on TikTok. Yes, you're a Facebook person, but here's what happens on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram and Facebook will only show you live video of the people that follow you. So they're only gonna let you know that you're live up here. However, TikTok will take your live video and throw it into the For You page to become discoverable to people that have never seen you before. Do you have any idea how valuable that is? Many of you will say to me, well, I do post, but only 5% of the people that follow me are seeing my content. So there's only 2 ways to get in front of those people. 1, pay me $100,000 a month for me to run your ads, or go live for free. Now, I'll take your 100 grand and I'll get you leads, but I'd much rather you go live and do it yourself because then you're in control. And when you do decide to go live, I want you to pick a time that works. Because I want you to think back. Who here remembers the TVs when they were growing up and you had to change the channel like this, right? Or you had the remote, but you only had 5 channels. I mean, this is Iowa. How long did it take you guys to get cable? Hey, I'm a WNBA fan. You lost me there, my friend. Okay? It's just the truth, dude. I'm just being honest. Nobody's watching it. Like, well, who's the Michael Jordan of the WNBA? Caitlin Clark, right? I mean, obviously. Oh, yeah, Angel Reese, yo! She's the queen of the brick, buddy. Awful. With that, now you got me, I'm fucking lost now, dude. Where was I going with that?
That you want $100 grand a month.
Yes. Yes, I will take your $100,000. Moving on. Anyway, live video. The reason where I was going with the live video was that you have to pick a specific time. You can't, most of you when you go live, you just pick a random time and you go live. And you're like, well, there's not anybody on there. Well, no shit. You didn't tell them when the TV show came on. So what's your favorite TV show? Currently right now. Big Bang Theory? Oh, that's a good show. I like that show. Actually just started watching it again. 2nd season right now, man. But when the Big Bang Theory was on television and it was just launching and they said, here's the deal, we're putting out the show, we think you're gonna like it, but we don't know when we're gonna put it on, so you're just gonna have to leave your TV on all the time, and hopefully you're in the room at the same time the TV shows the show. What do you think those ratings would be?
Well, that was before Netflix, so you couldn't just go binge it.
It was Friends back in the day. Thursday nights, man, nobody did anything.
Bingo. Bingo. But live video is the exact same way. So you're not gonna build up, you're not gonna do well on live video unless you're scheduling it.
But you're saying the live needs to be taped.
Yes.
Be a TV guy.
Bingo. You have to be that TV guide the whole week. If I'm going live every single night, I made sure everybody knew between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I was there. If you were looking for me, that's where I was. Whether you wanted to see me or not, that's where I was going to be every single night. You know, as things progress and as things go on, you can talk less and less. Now, I didn't do it in this seminar, but what I could have done is I could have even, if you notice, I involved you more than Bob did.
Yes.
Right? Had you guys moving a little bit. I was moving. Everything I'm doing, by the way, is psychological too. I was moving back here a little bit. I came back to you, talked to you, asked your name. Everything that I was doing was psychological. You like Big Bang Theory, so do I. I'm psychologically creating relationships now. So when we move over here and we start talking, I already know. You and I already hit it off. You and I are already having fun. I already know you like the WNBA. Bingo. So we have all these things. So all this stuff is psychologically set up. So what ends up happening is when you go live for that long, for that amount of time, the people in the comments section start doing the heavy lifting for you. They start asking questions. So I don't need to necessarily talk. I just need to hear you ask me something, and then I can go moving on. Because if you look back here, I'm not really paying attention to this deck. I could care less about this deck. What I want to know is the problems that you're having. And when I say who's on blank and who's on blank, and I don't see that many hands coming up, that leads me to believe that there's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of things that need to be filled, right? So whatever I say up here is kind of irrelevant. All I'm doing right now is pointing out that you guys are making mistakes, right? So how do we find solutions to them? Oh, great. This thing doesn't work anymore. There we go. This way. There we go. You can do it as well. So these are all people that I deal with, right? So Captain Conrad, believe it or not, this is a really, really interesting story. This guy right here owns 5 seafood restaurants. They're voted the best steamed crabs in Maryland. They were the only, there was a 2020 episode that was done. They were the only seafood market and restaurant that was using real Maryland crab meat in their crab cakes. A majority of those restaurants were using crab meat from China, believe it or not, and they got caught. But my client wasn't. I know, it's crazy. Chinese steamed crabs. Anyway, I'm Captain Conrad. I am. Tony Conrad, who is Captain Conrad, has no idea these pages even exist. His wife knows, because his wife hired me. But Tony doesn't know. So Tony has no clue that he got 207,000 likes and 5,000 comments on this post. He has no clue. This was a piece of content that we made that was funny, it was humorous, it was what it was, and we put it out there. And now he's got, what, 33,000 followers on Facebook. I think he's got 6,000 or 7,000 followers on Instagram or whatever it is. My point is that you can put a content out and get those same numbers if you can find relatable content that works exactly the same. Same over here. I'm going to share what I would do to fix her rebrand if she were my client. Ellie's a client of mine. She does very well. She's a great business consultant, believe it or not. But Ellie knows what she's doing, okay? You guys probably know why this video got 80,000 likes, 1,300 comments, 3,000 saves, and 594 shares. You probably know why. What do you think she did there? What did she force your brain to do just looking at that image?
Look at her painting.
Sort of.
Well, I mean, I read the caption.
She's forcing you to do 3 things. And she's going to force you to go from the top left-hand quarter down to the right, just like you read. So you're going Jojo Siwa first. You're going to read Jojo Siwa. You're going to see Jojo Siwa. You're then going to read the text. And now you're going to look and you're going to watch Ellie speak to you and look at you. And she purposely does that with her eyeliner to stop you because it looks different than something that you're normally seeing out there. So she's psychologically slowing you down, which is why that particular post did very well. The other thing is too, utilizing CapCut, you guys can do green screen videos. Do any of you ever do green screen videos? Why are green screen videos good? They're easy, yes, but why are they good?
Screen share, additional content.
They're slowing your brain down. I'm forcing you to read the article that I'm pointing at right here in big black bold letters while I'm talking to you at the same time. I'm forcing you to slow your brain down and listen to what I have to say. So those of you that want to do content and increase your watch times, green screen's a great way to do it. This is my friend Corey. He's also a business partner. He lives in Florida. We build CRMs on HubSpot for businesses. We're probably going to build a lot of CRMs for real estate agents, considering Follow Up Boss is, I don't know, probably not going to be around much longer. But Corey, even though he also does, he builds CRMs and he's very good at marketing and he's worked with Alex Hormozi and he's done all these things. Corey is also 26 years old, lives in a $2 million home in Florida, drives a Lamborghini Aventador and also has a BMW M4 CS as a second car, and also has a Ducati motorcycle for himself to drive. Now, granted, he's 26 with no kids and not married, so that's why he can do those things. But at the end of the day, he'll use the Lamborghini and the Ducati and the M4 and the $2 million mansion. He will use those things to slow you down in the video to talk about what he wants to talk about. Got it? And then this was just a funny ass meme that I made in CapCut proving my point that CapCut does work. This is a meme that I made for our jiu-jitsu gym, showing up on Saturdays as an adult. And you remember this was Conor McGregor from Roadhouse. This was him walking out on the mat and he was basically, where the fuck is everyone? Because nobody shows up on Saturdays for open mat because there is no open mat on Saturdays, so people thought that that was funny. Those of us that do jiu-jitsu in this room find that hilarious. Expectations versus reality. Those were the expectations, okay? What I just showed you before, those were the expectations, the millions of views, this and that. This is the reality. One comment. 890 views, 630 views, 683 views, 66 views, 73 views, 86 views, 333, 528, 345, 358, 3,000, 380, 280, 271, 370. They're not going to all be bangers, guys, is my point. Test, try. If it doesn't work, try something else. If it didn't work the first time, post it again. How many of you have heard the story of the one kid who believed in the video that he thought he was going to get 1 million views? He posted it 9 times in a row, fell flat on his face. Posted it a 10th time, fell flat on his face. Posted it 11th time, 1.2 million views.
What's your thoughts on ManyChat?
ManyChat? Love it. If you can train it right. If you set it up properly. It's got to give the right answers. And it needs to direct directly to a person. Gotcha, Timmy, 5 minutes. The viral fear factor. This one right over here is Tim's. This is what I was talking about, that real estate video. This screenshot's from a while ago, but you can see right here, this was Tim's video, 810,000 shares. That's not Tim falling on the light post. That's not the light post coming down and hitting him in the head. This was all the way back in 2023, as you can see. 810,000 shares. You might have seen the beautiful Dr. Mamina is another client of ours on TV. She does like all the commercials and Cetaphil and stuff like that. Sponsor, she's a dermatologist. Same numbers, absolutely crushes it. If you're in a situation where you don't know what to post on TikTok, I highly recommend going into your search bar on TikTok, type in Creator Search Insights. Look at the Creator Search Insights, hit view. That's going to give you guys the answers to exactly what people are asking about real estate on TikTok right now. Some of you probably already know that, but if you've never done that before, I highly recommend doing that. It's going to make things a lot simpler for you. Helping creators of all sizes break through. When I did go to visit Instagram in January, I sat down with Joey Salas, who is a friend of mine who works at Instagram, and we talked about basically what Reels can do, and we wanted to really know, as creators, what can we do to get better? So this is directly from Instagram. Posting regularly. One of the most effective ways to grow is to post consistently. We've already talked about that. Create content that can stand on its own. If your goal is to reach new people, your reels should make sense to those who may not know you. Deb. That one. May not know you. Assume no one knows you when they view your content. Make sure that the hooks are there. Amplify your content with audio. Even if you put your own stuff up and you're using your own music, I still think that you should use some sort of trending sound that's maybe at a lower volume, just kind of hovering around. It'll help it index a little bit better. Use your photos and carousels, keep experimenting. Just like I said before, they're not all gonna be bangers, and embrace the unpredictability because that's just gonna happen. And when I say, like, when somebody says, hey, can you create viral content? Like, you can't create, well, I guess I can't say that, Tim. I guess you can create a virus, can you? Could happen. It's not like something like that would happen in the real world. Did anybody hear about this, the TikTok point system? Did anybody see this or hear about this on TikTok at any point? Is it true? You think it's true? You do? You think it's true? It's false. It's not real. It was actually made up by an artificial intelligence firm. And they put it out. And there were a ton of people in my industry that quickly saw that and quickly started making news about it and going, oh my God, you guys got to pay attention to the new TikTok point system. And I just sat back, waited and waited and waited. And I went, hey, Julie, she works at TikTok. Is this TikTok point system a real thing? She goes, the what? TikTok point system. She goes, there's no point system. And then we dove a little bit deeper and it was complete bullshit made up by an artificial intelligence company that put it out. So this is why I say to you, not everything that you see that has in regards to a lot of this stuff is real. I literally will have people, like just friends of mine now that will just text me stuff. Is this real or is this bullshit? How many messages do you get a day about companies that want to do business with you, right? Is this real or is this bullshit? We don't know. Again, you guys have access to this stack, so I'll let you guys look at that. And to finish it up, these are the new things that are going to be coming to Instagram and Facebook in the near future, if they're not already there for some of you, and this is why I want you to update. Remove share to Facebook. That is going away. So you won't be able to do that anymore. Okay? New app layout. Some of you may have already seen that on Instagram. If you haven't seen that yet, you're going to have to update at some point. But your new layout's coming for Facebook as well. So be ready for that one. Watch history. Does everybody know where that is? Or know what it is? Has anybody ever opened up Instagram before, seen a video, somebody decides to start talking to you, you leave Instagram, you come back and you're like, fuck, the video's gone, I can't find it. You can now go to your settings and go to watch history and all the videos that you viewed are there. Those of you that are married and that you have spouses, I would clean your fucking shit up quickly.
What is determined to watch history? You have to watch it for 10 seconds for it to show up?
Sure. I don't know yet. It's brand new. Not sure yet. But my assumption is this. Watch time to them is like 0.5 seconds. Yeah, probably 3 seconds. AI restyle on stories, that's already there. Have any of you messed around with this yet? Yeah. It's awesome. Absolutely love it. Go check it out. Follow to auto DM, which is going to take care. It actually, you're probably, yeah. And what I was going to tell you is that if you wait just a little bit longer, my gut is going to tell me that you'll probably cancel ManyChat when you see what the abilities of this, of what it's actually going to be able to do in messaging. They're putting a ton of engineering effort into the direct messaging side of that platform. A ton.
ManyChat's only cheap if you do one cloud.
Yep, you're right. Schedule Instagram stories. I like that one. Auto translate and dub reels. Don't really care about that one. Expanded carousels. Closed captioning, great. And I also like the auto translate. And the reason I tell this, what do you think the percentages of people that on Instagram that speak English? 40%. Ooh. You said 3? I think it's 11%. That's it? That's it. Yeah. Yep. Expanded carousels, which means you will have infinite amount of carousels to post. You're currently allowed to have 20 right now. I don't know if you need more than 20, but if some of you are about to go super hard on carousels, that's really good for you. And then add a link to post. This is the one that I'm the most excited about. This is the one that we've been waiting for so long, okay? That's the one where you see people that post a link in their Instagram post and you're like, gotcha, you're lazy. Because I know that they posted it from somewhere else. Because why is that? You can't post a link in the description because it's not clickable. You can do it in stories, but you can't do it in your post. You're going to be able to do it in your post now. The window will open within Instagram, but this is great for you guys because if you want to do a presentation of a property and things like that, you could it's going to take them to an internal web page where you guys could be there talking to the customer or the client, walking them through the house or whatever it is, which I think is going to be absolutely amazing. So that is one to look for when it pops. And here's some apps that I highly recommend downloading and or going to on a web page. Sora 2 for sure, 100%. Download that today. I highly recommend it. The Repost app, that's the logo for it. If you find an Instagram reel that you like, you don't want to remix it or sequence it inside the platform and you want to remove it with the watermark and keep the caption, that Repost application is absolutely perfect. Again, if you DM on Instagram, I'll send you the deck. Captions, probably the best artificial intelligence editing video app I've ever seen in my entire life. Highly recommend using that one. If you also struggle in making videos, it's got a great teleprompter built within it that literally makes it look like you're the smartest person in the world and you have no fucking clue what you're talking about, but the prompts are there for you to be able to do it. CapCut, already told you about that. Repurpose.io, it will take the watermark and also remove the metadata, so you only need to connect it to one account. If I post a TikTok, Repurpose.io will remove the metadata and watermark from that post, and it will send it to 7 to 8 different platforms based on the engagement times that are best for my profile on that platform. So you can have it go out at 2 p.m. if you want to, but maybe LinkedIn does better at night. So Repurpose.io knows that it's going to post that post at night instead of during the afternoon. And then the Beamed Media launched Ad AI is our AI ads platform, which basically just lets all of the artificial intelligence do all the heavy lifting on running your ads, which I absolutely love. And then Transitional Hooks is a website that I think is just super fun, and it'll give you some nice visual transitional hooks like that motorcycle banging into the back of a truck, and then quickly, like, it's there for you. Again, that's what I'm talking about, that watch time, slowing it down to get people's attention a little bit better. Let's get those questions answered. The person who asks a stupid question is a fool for a minute. The person who does not ask a stupid question is a fool for life. So if you want to do Q&A or whatever you want to do, there you go.